Greetings and welcome to your... I can never get the music right. I can never do that. I don't... Someday, when we have an actual soundboard, I'll be able to do that correctly. Welcome to your Friday show. I'm Magebit, and we're working with janky-ass technology that doesn't work. Greetings and welcome. We're just going to pretend that that didn't happen and move along. Hey, Pern.
Yeah, well, I thought something happened. I looked down at my thing there. Did I disconnect? No, I've got green.
No, there's problems on my end as usual.
Yes, how's everything going?
It's going all right. No major
Here's
complaints
a good
here.
one. Reportable begging limit.
Reportable begging limit. I like the sound of that.
There you go. That one's in there too.
Awesome. We have plenty of topics that we're sorting through right now for today's show. If you have a topic you want to submit to us, you can tweet at me at RS Weekly. Actual soundboard. That's not what I meant, Zenel. I mean, like, a sound mixer, if you will. I need an actual mixer where I can fade in one audio track, fade out another. So I'm not frantically trying to remember, oh crap, I gotta bring up VLC and lower the volume from 100 to 30%, or otherwise we're all about to get freaking our ears slammed.
You actually been pretty good. You've only actually done that once that I can remember.
Last show, I completely forgot about the outro, apparently, again, and it's at max volume.
No,
So
I wasn't here for that one, so...
Nor have you listened to it, apparently, but some people have, and they've,
No,
they've
I'm
let me
about
know.
Yep. I've just started October's, so...
Alright, so let's see here. We're going to probably hold off on the dev diary, because, again, I watched it, but unless anyone can, like, lead me through it, I don't remember it. I should have taken bullet notes on it, but it was just not... I was hoping I would just be like, oh, this is going to be memorable. But that's how I feel about these dev diaries, opposed to the written ones, is I zone out in the middle of them, and then I can't recall the information, and there's no written form of it anywhere, so I can easily skim through it to remind myself of things. So I really, really don't like this version of dev diaries. I much preferred it when it was in text form. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I totally agree.
Probably get way more interaction, to be honest, though. I doubt
Probably.
most people read those dev diary posts.
You're probably right. You're probably right. In fact, you're probably 100% correct. It just makes my life harder. I don't know why they couldn't just do both, but then it's just like, well, then they'd have to follow a script, or someone would have to take live notes on them, which I should be doing anyway. I just don't want to.
Not even really that. I mean, they could they just have their talk, what they're doing, but they can have an actual proper, dev diary.
Do it like a Q&A show where they have like a tablet in front of them with bullet points to talk about, and then just release those bullet points. So and make everyone. It would be nice if there was a TLDW on it, but it's only like 14 minutes long, so it's kind of shameful if you say TLDW for 15 minutes of your life. But
that was about the same length as the Q&A this past week. I felt like it only went that long.
Well, the best was the Q&A the week before, where it was an hour show, and we got about 4 hours of discussion out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a good show yesterday. Last show, the Wednesday show that we did this week. I know you weren't here, Pern, but it was really good show. Went on for quite some time. In fact, give us. We're still possibly. We're still getting freaking memed from that freaking shirt that we proposed on Wednesday. They give us snow at least, then I can decide. Ice Mountain is best mountain.
That was last week.
Was it last week?
Yep.
Already? Oh wow.
Yep.
I still feel like that was this week. Wow. I'm so behind. Well. I'm behind, like, literally chronologically. I'm a mess. Well, anyway.
So Zenel came up with some spoon ideas.
That's right. The last show was Rune Spoons, which I'm not sure how that happened. I don't even remember what sparked Rune Spoons. We're not doing this post, by the way, called Geology Troubles. I'm sorry to whoever put that one in there. It's funny, though.
You have enough geography troubles as it is.
That's a geology.
Ah.
Yeah, too soon, man. Too soon.
The best of both worlds. This one's a little lengthy here. But the best of which worlds?
What are you reading?
I'm reading through the notes. There's a lot of them.
Show topics or show notes?
Show topics. I'm in the one called Where am I actually?
Oh, stained glass windows. Okay, when
Yeah.
you said the title, I'm sitting there going, "What?" So I'm looking for that actual title that you read out. Sorry.
Some people like to make up their own titles, so then they don't they don't reflect the actual title. Sometimes, and honestly, this is not one of those times when making up your own title is easier than the actual title. I would have left the actual title for this. It's easier to say. And yeah. In the intro saying, stained glass windows are one of RuneScape's defining features. Inventions missing gaps. I mean, one of those sounds horrible. I'll let you guess which one. Inventions missing gaps. Which, there's been a lot of threads about this lately. People are pretty salty about the fact that there's nothing from 99 to 120 invention, and I do not blame them. You mage
No,
said
because
almost,
they promised us that, and then all
said
of a
you
sudden they
almost
gone and
said
reneged on that.
Runescape. Okay. Yeah, I know. I don't blame them for that either. I'm just, people are really holding on to it, and I'm kind of glad, to be honest with you.
Yep.
It's,
So am I, because hopefully they'll sit there and say, okay, people really want it. And I mean, if you're going to bring out an elite skill and then not finish that skill off because it's too hard, or, oh, we're just going to throw it as sort of quest rewards and things like that. No, I'm sorry. That's,
Yeah, I saw somebody
that doesn't cut it. So.
who mocked up a design document for 99 to 120 to have all of the portable items craftable on it, and I thought that was great, but that'll never happen. Thought it was nice, though.
Morning Lloyd over there on YouTube.
Yeah, Lloyd, I feel the same way. It's just like you hit 120 invention, and it's just like, well, there's nothing to do here, but at least it's one less skill I have to worry about now. That's pretty. I just trained invention to train invention, which is sad.
That's it. It'd be nice, even at 120, if we had some useful perks.
If we had some,
120 to go back and do, and even as we said with our herb cleaning machines and things like that, if you can get those up and operational, there's something that's going to make that skill useful and continue on beyond. There's a reason to get that.
Yeah.
Anyway. So salty.
I rushed to 99 and then pretty much just meandered my way to 120 because there was no reason to really train it past 99. I wanted my max cape back, and then I just kind of let 120 happen, and it probably took me about 4 or 5 months, and it just kind of happened naturally. It was a lot easier to do it that way. So yeah, I mean, I completely understand why people are salty about the fact that there's just nothing from 99 to 120. What?
It annoys me more that they just dumped it and pretty much the same day they're like, 120 Slayer instead.
Yeah, right. So that does, that's another comment from Lloyd is, it's like they should finish invention before they, release 120 Slayer. But I have to say, is invention ever completed? The same goes for Slayer. Those are two kind of open-ended skills that can kind of be added to at any time. That's the one thing about invention that I will give them a little bit of credit for, is that invention can be added to kind of in any way they want to, through any means they want to. It can be a quest, it can just be straight up content, it can be, reward space from something else that ties into invention. Like they've really made the skill modular in that sense. It's just, we were expecting a fully fleshed out roadmap from 1 to 9 to 120, and they gave us 1 to 99 instead, and then told us to go, basically just stuff it from 99 to 120. Just do it for the XP, basically. And that wasn't part of the plan, man. And anyway, that's all I got to say.
When we voted for invention, I mean, that's what we were voting for. That you're going to have all this, and I mean, some of those ideas they presented to us were brilliant, and they look like skilling things, but it is just it really is a combat skill. We'll throw a little bit of skilling stuff in there for you, but it really is most useful for combat. So anyway,
we just got to hope that when the next survey comes around, heaps of people put in invention. Maybe we'll get it 2018.
Maybe one of the actual. This is the great thing about the expansions is they're not telling us anything, so they can literally be anything we want them to be. Is that almost more dangerous than letting us know what the theme is, letting our imaginations run wild with them? What do you think about that? Like, because I don't know anything about the second two expansions, they could literally be anything. Thus, could I not overhype myself and then be extremely disappointed? Because I'm just gonna wishfully think that it's gonna be things that I want, when in fact, it could be content completely unrelated to my gameplay style.
Dungeoneering to 200.
I think I would quit. I really think I might just quit at that point.
Dungeoneering to 200. Dungeoneering to 1 billion.
It's like if I like to think that you need to get like a total of 1 billion XP in the skill to make it to 200. But yeah, no. If this game just pretty much became Dungeoneering centric, I think it would be time for me to move on. As clearly I am. It's like, why play a game at that point when you like the main point of me playing the game is just to like picket protest? The fact like no, that's
Dungeoneering Weekly.
Ron's dagger cannon. Do you really want that though?
No, Xana was just adding on to one of my ideas I posted in YouTube chat.
Gotcha. Alright. I'm gonna keep going through these here. We've had the response to the forum feedback thread before. This is an image of it though, of Mod Kalea's post. Why? I don't Oh, this was did they finally close that? Did they finally close the forum feedback thread? Interesting. I'd be curious to hear an actual response from them in the form of either a forum post or a dev article or something.
Judging from that, I don't think it has been closed, but I'll look at the forums and have a look-see.
I didn't think it was closed. I thought it was just they do it every month. The major update, they just ask you for feedback on it. People are giving you lots of feedback on Bounty Hunter.
That's anonymous.
My God.
That's anonymous feedback updates you're thinking.
Yeah.
Forum feedback is because of the mods have basically turned into the forums into like freaking Nazi-controlled World War II Germany style. Like it's just
graveyards.
Yes.
You can't freaking post anything without it getting locked.
Yeah.
All right.
But they are efficient at that.
They are very good at that. Oh my, Tufty Power is literally, I don't think he's human. Any hour of the day at all, he's there. If you say something inappropriate, or even mildly appropriate,
to the gas chamber.
It's just, it immediately shuts you down at any hour of the day. It's kind of scarily impressive. Is RS fun anymore? Not really. It's more just an obligation at this point.
Job.
Pretty much. It's, it's become my virtual lifestyle. But you know what? This is by a pretty good forum poster, and it's long, so we'll grab it. They put some thought into it. Hey, Strykewyrms.
The next one's funny.
Strykewyrms?
That's actually a funny one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I will put that
but
one.
It takes him too long to do now since they buffed them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's gone back pre-AOC. It's still faster than pre-AOC, but now he's complaining because, it takes him too long to do the task.
Sure. Ban due to third party. Okay, you have my attention anytime.
that was interesting too.
Anytime I read something like that. Summoning and activities.
That's someone complaining about not being able... Oh, sorry, you're reading it.
No, go ahead.
It's just someone complaining about not being able to use summoning pets on things like mimic bosses and these activities lately. It's like, why do we have a summoning skill when we're not allowed to actually use it for anything?
Interesting.
And I thought it was, an interesting discussion point. So.
Okay, I can toss that in there. Summoning is a weird skill. Mimic EOC only. Is that the case? Is the Mimic EOC only?
Well, people are complaining it's too hard in Legacy, so that was another whinge.
Of course.
And I just wanted to have my obligatory, stop playing EOC, stop playing Legacy.
Yeah.
It's my chances to have a bitch at those people.
Fair enough. Can we have some communication about Bounty Hunter?
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
There was some communication regarding Bounty Hunter.
No, read it. Just read it though. That one, yeah.
Okay, let's see.
You're aware of the
Let's read it so I can decide.
All right, we're definitely gonna pull this one in here. It's a good one.
So sorry, what's the deal with the mimic? Is it way harder now or something?
Is it harder?
No, it's exactly the same.
Okay, I figured they were just going to copy and
I
paste it.
just can't
copy and paste.
I get
Mimic.
it down to like, I get it down to about 500 life points in
And then the
elite
game
mode,
ends.
and then it ends. So I've just been doing mine on hard mode.
Yeah,
I'm
I can't
killing
do
it
it
with
above.
about 30 seconds left.
I can't do it above hard mode, unfortunately. I haven't actually played it at all since it came out, mainly because I haven't had time to play the game, and what little gaming time I've had, I've been kind of pouring into Overwatch, I will admit. But I honestly think PvP brings out the worst in people. Yeah, I agree with that, sadly. I tried going to Revenants and got skull-tricked by people. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what it is about PvP that brings out... I think that, or it just attracts people that want to bring misery to other people.
The douchebags.
And you know, it's a problem in any game where it's player versus player. I mean, you get trolled in Overwatch all the time, where like we'll be having a good game, and you know, someone will switch to a character that just trolls, or you'll have somebody who just like starts off as Mei and just like ice walls you all the way. Like you're trying to get to the point, and they just keep ice walling you and stopping. Like people are just assholes when it comes to PvP type games. I don't know why. There needs to be more rules. But whatever. Anyway, I'll Be Honest is the name of this one. I always like it when we open a thread with a title like that, so you never know what you're getting yourself into. This thread is no, and then when they open when they have to open a thread by saying this thread is in no way degrading the hard work of JMods.
Yeah, I know. I just read the first 2 lines. I thought, yeah, that's when they say things like that. I like that.
Yeah, it tends to be.
I've just posted, I don't know whether or not you guys have seen it, but I just posted a thread in general regarding a potential bug abuse regarding the Mimic boss.
Okay.
Posted it in live.
It's in general, so,
got it.
let's see, yeah. Have a read.
Let's see here. As you know, TND death including weapon XP. If I keep using 0% strength, I want to kill this boss because I can't be bothered to go spend 2 hours to get to level 10, considering it's a limited time boss. Is this bug abuse? Yes! But clever. Good morning, One Magic Turtle. How are you today? Yeah, I would say that's potential bug abuse. We could talk about that. I would not risk my account by doing that. Alright, let's see here. We want to shove that closer to the top. We'll actually put that.
Oh yeah, Mage. What's the deal with the microphone? What's your plan?
We are getting a new microphone on Black Friday. If you were here pre-show, you'd know that. But I guess I could say it in the pre-show as well. There's a special going on Black Friday. Oh my god, which is great news because now my headphones are dying. So I hate my life. Yeah, so we can't have
a Black Friday sale out here in Australia. All our websites crash.
So I'm gonna pick up a replacement microphone as well as probably some new headphones as well. Although I have protection on these, so I'll probably order just a cheap pair for while I'm waiting for the replacements on my headsets to come through here. But yeah, ridiculous. I'm never buying JBL again. Honestly, I'm never buying anything that is not a Razer product ever again. I'm sick of every company. Razer is the only company that has not let me down product-wise. So my next headset will be a Razer headset. Right.
I've had a couple of Razer keyboards. My brother had that. Didn't work very well. So
I have a Razer mouse, a Razer keyboard. Both of them are amazing. They're very high quality. I've never had a problem with them. I mean, all right. So I broke my last Razer mouse, but it was after like a lot of abuse. The pre-show. How many degrees of a pre-show does this podcast even have? No. The pre-show is for anyone who shows up in the live chat before we go live. But I'm excited to have the funds to be able to actually buy the microphone, and obviously I should have some left over so I can replace this headphones as well. I think there's like an $80 pair of headphones that Harley showed me a few times. I think that I want to get because I really need the durability. That's what I need. I need a pair of headphones that are like studio quality that can withstand being taken on and off 800 times a day. You know, occasionally the cord being tugged on or rolled over by a chair or something like that. What will Mage do when Razor lets him down? I'm done. I guess the only move from there is to move to Apple at that point, really, which I can't afford. So
don't mind me. I was snickering because of my juvenile sense of humor.
Like literally, my right ear just cuts out at random. Anytime if I move at all, like if I move my body at all, I lose all audio in my right ear. Hey, Building RS Project, how you doing? Welcome to the pre-show. Bounty Hunter BS continues. Yes, it does. Oh my god. I might actually have to go to Best Buy like today. This is driving me nuts. It's very possible that will happen. What happened last show is it will just completely die right in the middle of the show. Speaking of die right in the middle of the show, this show has a hard cap of 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have an optical exam shortly after, so I have to be there. So we're going to try to wrap up right around there and get through this pre-show as quick as possible, which we're probably a little over halfway through. Just finishing up going through these topics here. Alright, that's too much complaining. Bounty Hunter feedback. Try not to get stuffed up here. I heard good stuff about Audio-Technica headphones. I've never used them and don't know if they would do what you want. Probably. If they're headphones, they'll do what I want. I just need a high dynamic range of frequencies, which most high-end headphones have already. Preferably, want them wired so I can plug them into my microphone setup. Audio-Technica is a good brand. I like Audio-Technica. They were the hardware company I used prior to Blue. Hey Zazima, how you doing? Bounty Hunter feedback. Let's see here. People camping in multi with 6 friends. Yeah, we can get some feedback, I suppose. I have not even bothered and will not bother with this content, so I like to live vicariously through other people. Alright, let's see. Where can we jam this one in? How about right after that, staying on the topic of Bounty Hunter. Remove or fix Bounty Hunter. Yeah, you know what? Why not? I'm just gonna...
Actually, he's got some legitimate complaints in that one, but it's...
Yeah, I'm just gonna toss it right in there with the other Bounty Hunter posts. We might as well. We've gone down that far. Does Araxi really drop a fang? I hope so. Someone having some bad luck.
Yes. I mean, that's why there's so many Nox sites out there, but this guy wants to know, does he really do it?
I want Count Drano to drop a fang.
Yeah, Logitech's on my shit list as well, Zeno. Logitech's on my shit list. They were like the first on my shit list. Turtle Beach is on my shit list. Who else is on my shit list? I guess JBL is now on my shit list. Sony's on my shit list, except for laptops. They make a pretty decent laptop. But yeah, most companies are on my shit list. It's gonna be where like Tough Book and like Defender series products are gonna be the only things left. Everything needs to be water and bulletproof before I purchase it. Suggestion: Melee rework, or at least Melee proof. When we look at Melee, ignoring ultimates, I didn't realize we're playing Overwatch here. I'm not going into a number post. We can save this. I'll put this in Magebit's reserve for when we have more combat people on. I see a lot of numbers going on there, and that scares me. I'm doing pretty good. It's gonna be it's gonna be probably about a 3-hour show today because I have a doctor's appointment. But looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting a new pair of headphones too. Apparently, God freaking damn it! Just please. Last through the show. I'll pick a pair up on my way home if I have to. Excuse me, but how removing all player killing in regular worlds but leaving Clan Wars safe portal? Okay.
So that's another funny one.
That's going in there. And what else we got? Swap shop for Prif resources.
Someone complaining that they've spent all this time getting, after one of the pets and he's got all this stuff left over. Now he wants to swap it for other things so he doesn't have to work at it.
You don't like the Of course.
I just love it.
You don't like the Sony Vaio laptop, Sentinel? I had one in the past and it was pretty decent.
Sony's, yeah, the Sony's the Vios are very good. They're one of our best to sell.
Yeah.
Although
they're one of the best to sell.
No, as in they don't come back.
They don't come back, you're right. I mean,
No.
I had to send my Sony off to service once, and that's because I put a hammer to it. So that doesn't count.
Yeah, that's not covered by warranty.
No, luckily it is covered by accidental damage from quote-unquote handling. I handled it all right. That laptop ain't gonna fuck with me again.
Why are you putting Jericho's list in chat?
No. That's in general. It's in general. That's because you, Mage just said that's going in the list. So.
Okay.
Well, shot for periphery.
That's why I put it there.
Furnace, perk, and sandstone. Yeah, that needs to not happen. I've stopped using my my augmented pickaxe when I get sandstone because of that. I do like the only response here, though, to make the price of flasks go higher. But seriously, yeah, furnace perk should not work at sandstone. That's not cool. I've had 2 vials. They're effing terrible. Really? I had 1 Vio, so I mean your sample size is technically 100% larger than mine. But my 1 Vio, I liked it a lot. It did good work. It was an i7. It had its own like external graphics card inside of it, separate from the motherboard. What was it running? It was a Core 2 Duo, I believe. And at the time that was like best in slot. I can't remember what kind of graphics card it had though inside of it, but it was a
Sorry, best in slot.
It was best in slot at the time.
You got two Aussies and a New Zealander. We all have a juvenile sense of humor.
It was also.
No, I was actually thinking. Neither was I. I was thinking best in slot, as in like RuneScape. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Don't know where your mind is, DX.
Reddit,
DX
please.
Is the only juvenile here.
DX is the only one that would call it a slot. That's why.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I thought that's it's like.
I'm not a virgin. I'm not a virgin. I'm not a virgin.
All right, what do we got here?
Nothing like a bit of silence.
Don't worry, the soundboard filled in.
Ah, good.
I need to buy a Mac.
You just did.
I need that, or somebody told me that I can do virtual audio drivers on Windows. I need that article again on how to do that, because I really should do that. And as I'm upgrading everything, I should do that. What's going on, Kind? Welcome back.
My brother and sister-in-law have a Mac. I don't have a Mac. I always find the PC actually better than the Mac because I'm more used to the PC.
Reddit, please help me find my friend is my favorite topic of the day, by the way. So good. I'm not sure where to even put that one. Like, do I put that at the beginning of the show or the end of the show? I think I'm gonna put it. Oh, this is tough. I think we're gonna close with it, to be honest with you. It's not funny, but it's like really heartwarming. Top 10 useless or outdated rewards. We'll put that one.
Reportable begging limit's actually a funny one.
Okay, we can close with that one then. Let's see. PSA legacy feedback. So, why is there just a random PSA in there? I don't know. Top 10 useless or outdated. Okay, so we'll put that one after Bounty Hunter. We got a bunch of Bounty Hunter stuff there. Then bring back old RuneScape. Then we'll do top 10 useless or outdated rewards. And finally, we have reportable begging limit. I like the sound of that. It's a nice one to cleanse the palate at the end there. I'm not a computer expert, but I like my Asus. I like Asus too. That's the brand I generally purchase if I'm going to buy a brand name. And if I'm going to build a computer, I generally use Asus components when possible. I like their motherboards a lot. I'm running the Asus X99A, I think.
I like that, Zenel. My dad uses a Sony Vaio now. He can generally keep his tea warm with it.
Oh, sure. They get hot as hell. Well, at least I haven't had one. I'll be honest. I haven't owned a Sony Vaio in probably about 7 years. So lots of things can change in that time period. So they very well could be not as good as they used to. But when I had mine, it was a good computer. All right, let me see. So we have, for today's show, we have Pyrnassius, Dxthelb, Harley, you're here, right? Yeah, okay. And RRman, are you sticking around? Should I put you on here?
You could do. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Got to pick someone up.
Okay. Fair enough.
If you leave me out, it's a surprise for the listeners.
Fair enough.
Junior intern.
Junior intern.
Junior intern. Junior pre-intern.
All right. Let's see. We'll call him Junior pre-intern cub.
Cub. Yeah, you get to earn your badge today, RRman.
You're gonna get your speaking badge. Okay. Let's see. Never trust Sony. I've gone over to Team MSI. It's expensive, but it works great, and you actually get what you pay for. MSI is great. I like MSI. I prefer EVGA slightly. I'm sure you'll find something to crucify me for that as well. But yeah. If I'm gonna buy a like branded thing, then generally I'll go with MS. I like MSI, but I'll generally go with EVGA, which is generally, I think, a little bit cheaper. But I still feel like I'm getting what I'm paying for. Okay. Be curious what your thoughts are on that. I think the show notes are pretty much where I want them.
Take a bar.
PSAs over here that I'll bring over. Alright, let me do that. And let me just make the ticker, and then we can get this show on the road. Oh, man. I can't believe it's already Friday, and I can't believe next week is American Thanksgiving. Next week, oh, by the way, next week is going to be weird. Because it's American Thanksgiving, so keep that in mind. There may not be a Wednesday show next week, I'll be honest. I'm going to try, and if Pern or somebody wants to step in and take over, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to...
Don't change my roster again, I can do that.
Sure. We'll talk about it more so as the date gets a little bit closer. Because I'm not 100% sure anymore what's going on next week, but I may be needed on Thanksgiving Eve, if you will.
Cook the turkey.
We'll see. All right, and more.
Only a few people in Australia actually celebrate Thanksgiving Day, but it's mainly an American holiday.
Well, I mean, it literally is an American holiday for this Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah. That's one thing we haven't seen though this year is anything about Thanksgiving in the game.
It'll probably come up on Mondays.
I'm fine with it. Damn, I was hopping. There was
last year we were chasing the those 10 turkeys around, the mod turkeys.
No, they're definitely going to have one this year. I remember them talking about it. I think on a Dev Q&A. I'm pretty, or might be. I can't remember where it was, but they are going to have an event. I wouldn't be surprised if it's this Monday.
I can't say that there won't be one, Legends Fade, but I'm just warning that there might not be one. Like there might, someone could step in for me. I might be able to work around it. We'll see. We'll see. I know I have a lot going on next week.
I think it might have been Mod Shawnee that was talking about the Thanksgiving holiday. Come to think about it.
Okay.
Just have a look at the pictures Ennel's put in the Discord chat.
In general?
If it's not in the live room, I can't see it.
Yeah.
I love it. Good idea, Ennel. The DX cannon. Well done, mate.
All right, I just updated the YouTube show notes, and I believe we are ready to begin the show.
That's great, Ennel. Well played.
How could you do this to me, Nintendo? I'm just reading Clan Chat to see. God damn it! How could you do this to me, Nintendo? What's happening in Clan Chat?
I think I know. Most of it's sold out. That new mini NES.
Maybe. I want the Nintendo Switch, I have to say. I really want to play the new Zelda. There's going to be possibly a new Mario title on launch that looks suspiciously like Super Mario 64. I really think they're playing on nostalgia big time with this new console. And I think that's probably
What about its
What good
release
idea.
date though? March. That just seems.
Did they seriously put it for March?
Weird. Yeah, that's, I just couldn't
for the
believe when I
entire
saw-
world.
Yeah,
I was
It
gonna
just
be
seems
like,
such a weird release.
I was
though.
only like, all right, you're in Australia. Sometimes you guys get screwed over on release dates, but if the whole world if it's in March, then I won't be buying it. Actually, like they just lost a sale. That money's gonna go elsewhere because that's my Christmas money. That I was like, so I was gonna buy that for the family, but I'm not gonna
Maybe you can
randomly buy a
you can
console
buy it
in
from
March.
next Christmas.
Exactly. I'll get it on Black Friday for $100 because they discontinued it because it's a stupid idea. But I actually kind of like it. But I also they're going to be selling a 3DS for $99.99 as well. So clearly they're trying to replace their 3DS line with the Switch. And honestly, I don't think that's going to work. But anyway, my 3DS has an SD card slot. Yeah, so. All right, I gotta stop looking at clan chat. You can join it. You can join our clan chat. Kill, skill, and chill. Anyway, I think we're pretty much ready to go. I'm gonna open up topics, and then we can get the show on the road. I'm pretty sure here. What time is it? 9:11. Perfect.
Oh my god.
Alrighty. Just opening all the topics. 99 great again. Is RuneScape fun anymore? Harley, I would recommend if you're gonna be consistently playing, by the way, like streaming that game, I would totally like pimp that in the opening of the show because it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm planning on it.
Okay.
I will definitely be pimping it, and I'm gonna do the whole playthrough. And if I can get a donation, I'm gonna do the second game too. I don't own it currently, but
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, Coder is a great series. I got them all on Steam in a package at some point in time. I don't know how or why, but I know I have them, and I play them all. I bought them because when I played them originally, they were just fucking amazing games.
Yeah, I bought KOTOR, the first one, for the Mac, so I'm playing it on the Mac OS instead of in Windows, which is actually working pretty well. It seems to be an okay port, but
Yeah, it runs alright.
yeah.
Alrighty. I think all my topics are open. I can't help but feel like I'm missing them, but hopefully everything is correct there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, we're about 22 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yeah, I got about 22 items. Okay. Just wanted to double check, make sure I wasn't missing anything. I don't think I am.
While we're talking about Steam for a moment there, I believe there was something regarding you're able to actually do something with RuneScape Chronicle on Steam. Apart from play it.
I was going to say.
A way to,
might be a way to what?
I'm going to bring up Steam because I remember seeing something in there a couple of days ago.
Okay.
And it mentioned RuneScape Chronicle.
All right. Well, I'll let you look for that, and I'm going to get the intro music up real quick so we can begin this show. And if somebody would like to PM me 44 minutes, that would be really cool.
Got it.
And we can begin.
There you go, 44 minutes.
Today is the 18th. Everything looks to be in order. We feeling good? Everyone feeling good? We have 2 hours and 45 minutes to bang off this show. Let's do it. In 3, 2, 1. You're listening to RuneScape Weekly for 11/18/2016. I'm your host, Magebit, with 15 years of RuneScape experience. Joining me today is Pyrnassius, Dxthelb, Harley, and the RRman. And on today's show, Shawnee teaser, Legacy Bounty Hunter feedback, no more PvP, bring back good old RuneScape, top 10 useless or outdated rewards, make 99 great again, is RuneScape fun anymore? Summoning and activities. Ice Strykewyrms need drop table improvement. Can we have some communication about Bounty Hunter? Bounty Hunter feedback. Remove or fix Bounty Hunter, please. Excuse me, how about Mimic EOC only? I'll be honest. Banned due to third party. And RuneScape Personals. And Reportable begging limit. Thank you for tuning into this edition of RuneScape Weekly, and enjoy the show. Thank you for tuning in to our Friday edition of RuneScape Weekly. Magebit here. Holy crap, that was a long intro. I don't know if we're going to be able to fit all these topics when we have a time constraint on our show, but we're going to do our best, and anything that we don't get to on today's show will get pushed to the Sunday show. So hopefully we can, but we'll do our best. We are going to do our best, and that's all we can do. So we have a full panel as well today. We got Pern joining us. How you doing, Pyrnassius?
Very good, thank you. Just down here thieving. Just almost 25 million XP since the pets have come out, and still haven't seen Ralph. So
yeah. You're almost taking longer than I took with the divination pet.
Yeah, it's a good skill to do when you're just on the podcast. It's a nice, easy one, and that's right. I'm making money while I'm doing it, so it's one you don't really care if it doesn't come too quickly. So.
Yeah, cool. We also got DX. How you doing, DX?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I got further now in Nomad's Elegy. I'm now at the Nomad's Phase 2 fight now. Hopefully I can complete this quest by the time Children of Mark come out on Monday.
Indeed, it's a great quest. I find it interesting that you do quests in little pieces, because that drives me. I can't do that. If I stop doing a quest, I stop doing it for like a year. So I find it interesting that you're able to kind of start and stop it.
Well, the thing is, I would have completed that quest a lot sooner, but the thing is, during the Bandosian Afterlife is where I kept on getting stuck. If there's the slightest lag, that's it. You might as well bag it, because it's hard to save all those little goblins.
That's the first 20 minutes of the quest. Did you manage to get past the goblins?
Yeah, I did, obviously, because I'm at the Nomad fight now.
Oh, okay.
Nomad's second phase fight.
Didn't catch that. Sorry.
But I got past the what's that thing? The battering ram. I got past that pretty simple. That was probably one of the easiest parts of the quest, to be perfectly honest.
I really just had a problem with frame rate. That was my main issue with the quest, was being able to control my character in a proper manner. That was really frustrating me, is the game lagging out at critical points and pretty much killing me. But yeah, 104 million XP in smithing and no pet Hoyd. Wow, that's rough.
Oh man.
How much of that did you get post pet update? I would be interested as well, because I can say the same thing about thieving, but I've only put about 200,000 XP into thieving. I already,
I'm 88 million thieving, but yeah, that's just since the update I've done 24.5 mils. So.
Yeah, it took me a good 22 million to get Willow. So I'm surprised, but I guess at the 99, are you 99? You're not 99, yeah. So I would expect me to get Ralph a lot faster, just because of the 120 threshold, but who knows?
Well, let's look at Thieves, who has 200 million thieving, and it took him, I think it was 35 mil or something in the end, XP, to get it, and he made something like 75 million GP from it.
Silly.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Anyway, we also have Harley joining us as well. How you doing, Harley?
I am doing good. I've been streaming some more recently. Decided to do a playthrough of Star Wars Knights of the Republic, one of my favorite childhood games. So if you want to come hang out and watch that, my Twitch is Queen of Blaze. It's quite a fun game if you like the Star Wars universe. I mean, even if you don't, it has a great story to it, and it's a really, honestly, I think it's a technical marvel. I mean, it's a 13-year-old game at this point, so it definitely shows its age, but it's still quite an interesting game to see.
It is a great game to watch. It's great dialogue, and it's really interesting to see how they handled the turn-based for third-person genre back then. I think Mass Effect really improved on it, but they did a pretty good job too.
I kind of like the combat of KOTOR. I mean,
yeah, it's not bad at all.
It has some things that could be updated, but I would love to see another game that is very turn-based, because I don't know about Mass Effect 1, but I know the later Mass Effects moved completely away from the idea of turn-based at all, and in KOTOR you are queuing up your abilities, and so you're pausing the game a lot, queuing a bunch of stuff up, and then unpausing to let the attacks happen.
Yeah,
it's a very fun combat system.
I like it. So yeah, I watched you play for a few hours last night, and I got to watch the tail end of your stream this morning. I guess you started streaming at like almost like 6:40 in the morning for me.
Yeah, it was something like that.
So when I had
6:30 or so.
Yeah, when I had woken up, it was I don't know if you were wrapping up or what, but that was a good time. It was good. It's good to see you streaming again. So yeah, if anyone wants to check you out, where can they find you?
It's Queen of Blaze on Twitch. I will also be putting it up on my YouTube channels over time once I get a chance to edit it down a little bit and make the videos more YouTube friendly. But the playthrough will go up there as well in case you missed some of it.
Awesome. We also have the RRman patiently remaining here as well. How you doing, RRman?
Staying around as long as I can. Hopefully it doesn't get too shaky.
Yeah, it's pretty early for you, so I imagine you are on the verge of passing out, but feel free to chime in on anything you'd like to, or, just put your head down and listen to us and fall asleep at your desk. Just make sure your mic is muted so we don't have you snoring on our show.
He's shaking comment. He's shaking comment referring to the earthquake they had earlier.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was a pretty big one for your area, huh?
I think I was
7.8. 7.8, that's what they say.
That's pretty. I've never experienced an earthquake in my life before, so I can't relate it to anything. But that must be terrifying to some degree.
Yeah, I jumped out of bed and there were a few words said. So
have you
I
ever
don't normally feel them, but
I was gonna say, have you ever been in like an active one before that have you visibly noticed?
nah, that was the worst.
Yeah.
The house moving side to side.
Oh wow, yeah,
It felt like the house was gonna slide down the hill. It's this weird motion, man.
Yeah. Oh, that must be terrifying. Oh, I can't even imagine it. Well, I'm glad to know that you're all right, and hopefully no major super long-term damage was done. But sometimes when those types of events happen, that's unavoidable. So my best wishes go out to you. Anyway. We are going to begin the show unless anyone has anything else they want to bring up before we do so. Going once, going twice. All right.
Sold.
Well, of course, we do have our ongoing stream tip ability. You can tip us live on the show at tip.runeweek.com if you feel so inclined to support the show while we're doing it live. You can do so, and you can include a little message with your tip, of course, if you want us to read it on the air or possibly discuss it or just get a point across. You can use that as a method as well, although we're pretty good at reading chat, so, mainly use the tip to tip opposed to trying to get on the show. Anyway, so that's tip.runeweek.com if you want to support us while we're doing the show. Anyway, we're going to get into our first topic of the day, which is a tweet by Mod Shawnee, simply showing off some graphics here of the interface for his new little skybox scene thing, which I believe is going to be for the Orb of Oculus, which will allow you to add filters and different skyboxes. So as you can see here, they have the Dusk, Dawn, Midday, Bonfire, Night, or Show Me filters option there. And then if you go over to filters, they have River of Blood Hallucination, Blue Shadows, Magic Toad, and Manishi Spirit Realm, Gashima, Zamorgil's Scrying Pool. More filters, which are Warm, Cool, Sepia, Cell Shade, Cross Process, High Contrast, Color Invert, Grayscale. Lots of cool options there. If you wonder you want to play the game or you're making a video and you want to set the mood, it's an interesting way to do so.
That River of Blood Hallucinations will be a good one if it's the same as that quest.
Yeah, I've seen it, and it is, and it's great, and I can't wait. I don't know what I'd ever use this for, but I like it, and I want to play the game in hallucination mode forever. Skybox selection will also be great for sure, Zenel. The only thing is, if you change areas or you're not in a surface world area, it will not work. So you have to be somewhere on the surface world, and if you change areas via any area that, like, if you go through a ladder or teleport or anything like that, it will remove the effect. So keep that in mind as well. Are the filters orb only? Yes. So if you deposit the orb, leave the active orb, the DX, help me out here. What's it called? Orb of Oculus.
Orb of Oculus.
Thank you.
I use it all the time when I'm working on mission.
If you unequip the Orb of Oculus, I'm pretty sure it will cancel the effect. It's pretty limited in what it can do. It's mainly for setting up machinimas and whatnot. But wouldn't it be awesome if we could just have this anytime we wanted, just to make the game, a little more unique, like cell shaded? I know, I can't wait to see that. A rotoscoped would have been an awesome option. I wish they had have included rotoscoped. Anyway,
the grayscale scale options looks interesting.
The grayscale option, yes.
Yeah, grayscale
sounds amazing.
He-Man scape.
Yeah, it is pretty useless.
The grayscale option. That's gonna look. It's gonna be pretty interesting. Just say like.
Are you gonna make a noir RSMV DX?
Pardon?
Are you gonna make an noir RSMV where it's in black and white and all like depressing? That'd be fun.
Maybe I could do Jailhouse Rock by Elvis or something in black and white.
Yeah, I think it's actually Discord that's causing some problems, by the way, for anyone who's having trouble listening to me, because I'm noticing that it's just not picking me up occasionally. I'd be curious to know if that's happening on the stream or if it's Discord as well, because I'm looking over at Discord and I see occasionally.
I know one thing, Discord won't be able to pick me up. I'm about 120 kilos, so it's not going to be able to pick me up.
Yeah, it is pretty useless for anyone who's not making videos, Kind, for sure. Unfortunately, but it's still kind of cool to play around with. But yeah, it's a tab project. It's not taking any real development time. It's just Mod Shawnee's side project that he's working on, and I like it. And I mean, again, what is it ever going to be used for? Well, for me personally, probably nothing. But it's still kind of fun, kind of funny to look at. Anyway, we can keep going.
Sensitivity a little. I don't know.
Is it still happening?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm still noticing it.
Let me put my... So I've had it automatically determine sensitivity, and it shouldn't be at that. I don't know why that was on. So I'll turn that off.
Oh, no. Skype's problem is entering Discord.
Yeah, I opened Skype the other day to make a phone call to somebody, and it probably decided that it was going to take control of all of Windows features again, because that tends to be what Skype likes to do. Let me just bring this down slightly, and I think that should be a good place for it. Well, let me know. Let me know if it gets any better. Let's see here. So our next post is small changes to make, which is to Legacy. This post is by Violins RS, and we are going to be focusing
playing the
on...
violins for him. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, right. So we're going to be viewing JagexPi's reply to his post, because I can't actually find his post first. Hang on, let me... Okay, there we go. Reddit's being a little weird. This one's like, why? I clicked the box to load the full post, and it's just like, error. And I'm like, why? So I reloaded it, and now I have his post. Okay, now I can read both, and it will be better. All right, so here's Violins, and this is what they have to say. It says, longtime PKer here, just wanted to mention a few things that could be changed for Bounty Hunter and Legacy PKing in general. Just going to preface this by saying that no Legacy Bounty Hunter isn't dead. There's 90 to 160 people on almost all times, and they're all concentrated in Edgeville. As of writing this, there are 98 people on. To put that into perspective, there are only 6 worlds with over 400 people on them currently. Anyways, my suggestions are... Yes? Do you have something you want to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, that's it. Legacy has 90 to 160 people on. The EOC one has about 7 people on.
Yeah, that's because EOC PvP specifically is so
bad.
crap.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
And even with what they've done...
Sorry.
I was to say, even now with what they have done, it's still people still don't like it. It's still too OP on certain things. So, yeah, Legacy really is the way they need to just stick to PvP. I think.
I think that's way too backwards looking to leave it that way. I mean, I think EOC is plenty capable.
It's capable.
Yeah. I think part of the issue is people just don't want to make the adjustment. I mean, sure, there are some OP things, but you can also just build to use them yourself, and then it's still a fair battle. But I mean, there's definitely balancing to be done. I think this is, now that they're finally looking at PvP, hopefully, like we had the week before Bounty Hunter came out, there at least a bunch of patches to abilities. But they need to keep doing that so that it becomes even more balanced.
Fair enough.
I just checked it out. As of right now, there's only 20 people on the EOC Bounty Hunter world. That'd be a good time to actually do it.
Well, that's the problem. That's one of the other complaints is of those 20 people, 12 are probably from the same clan, and they're just getting teamed up against each other and just this time you win next time.
We have a very important question from Alessandro here. Who's the first person in RuneScape 3 to achieve max on RuneScape 3? Who was the first person? Who was the fastest? The fastest person, excuse me. We all know it. Say his name. Say his name.
I think the guys kind of sound like this.
I believe his name is a friend. Jagex won't say it, but I'll say it. Because
why is that? Why does Jagex not want to actually acknowledge his name?
Because they don't want to feed into the fact that he spent $15,000 plus on microtransactions and made an entire maxed account on it. That's obviously not the intention of a treasure hunter, but it points out a real glaring issue with the fact that if someone was sick enough, they could.
Is it really an issue? That's a ton of money.
Are casinos really an issue? I don't know. You tell me. Where's your moral line?
Casinos are not an issue. I love my casino.
I hate gambling, so I mean it's a problem to me. Like I
if
don't
you want to talk about the gambling aspects, then sure. But I don't think the fact that it costs a ton of money to get a maxed out account in RuneScape is a bad thing. I mean, treasure hunter in general is a bad thing, sure, the gambling aspect. But I mean, I'm just specifically talking about the fact that it costs that much. I think that's a good thing. It shows how little of an effect it actually has on the game.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that though. I mean, you're completely sidelining my real argument with the fact that if somebody is sick enough, they could literally blow their down payment on their house on a freaking video game because it's an option, because they can. And there are people out there that will do that. We read a post on last show about somebody who almost ruined their life because of microtransactions.
It was a fantastic post, and
it was a very good post. I rarely do I thank people for posting, but that person, you know, to share a story like that is so powerful. And then, you know, a friend. I mean, yes, it's great that you can't easily buy a maxed account. I will agree with that point for sure. But the fact that you can go and spend that money either way, and Jagex lets you do it, I think is dangerous in the long run. And there are even safety checks. Like, you can only spend so much money a day or even a week, I think. But clearly that's a little, it needs a little bit of tweaking if somebody can spend... All I'm saying is you shouldn't be able to spend that much money without some sort of like legal agreement. Like you need to sign a waiver that you're okay with like destroying your freaking life. Anyway,
we also can't forget that he only ever did it on when they had the promotions on, which were like smoldering lamps and shit. So it would actually cost, well, I don't know, double that amount to actually do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Anyway, let's try to get back on track here. I've said it. We've talked about it. Let's move back on track here. So, ban the use of god books in PvP. Says Violence here. The only one when you can really, this is really badly written. The only one when you can really time to stack damage is the Saradomin book. All others are pretty much complete RNG and take time to term to a whole new level. I can't fucking read this apparently. So there's post number 1. Get rid of ban god books. Apparently, I don't know if that would have an effect or not, as I don't participate in PvP. But I understand the extra DPS is probably annoying. Fix the elo system. It feels.
I think banning outright is a terrible idea. It's sure nerf its effect in PvP, but it's not something you have to ban. I mean, the biggest issue is that a lot of our abilities are designed to fight, you know, like 200, 300k health bosses, and when each player has, you know, 10k, well, a little bit less than 10k at max hit points, that's the issue. And so you need to, you know, balance the abilities for that mode of the game.
Yeah, I mean, if they're not properly balanced for PvP, then they should be before they ban them, for sure. Fix the elo system. It feels like it was designed for 1,000 people, not 100 at a time. I have a high rating for the world, and I constantly get the same 2 friends over and over, even though they are a good amount of others to fight. I understand the concept of skill-based matchmaking, but some sort of queue should be made for targets you've already had. A randomized system would honestly spice things up a bit more. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. You just keep getting the same person over and over again, and that probably lends to the boosting. You know, the fact that it's not hard to get the same person more than once if they're of a similar elo rank, but I guess if you're fighting and killing someone repeatedly, they probably aren't of a similar elo rank. considering
But
you're
that's
probably
why-
ruining their elo rank.
No, that's again with the boosting. That's where there's a certain clan who is doing it, and
Or are they keeping people close to the same elo?
yeah, that's right. I'll win one, you win the next. And they have
They're doing what they do to Castle Wars, basically.
Yep, pretty much. Yep.
Yeah. How did you not? So it's not even like they developed a new way to make this boostable. They literally just copy and pasted the same method Castle Wars has used. How did they not see that coming?
Because, as this guy says, this type of system is designed for 1,000+ people, not for 50 or 60 people on at a time. If you have 50 or 60 people, and you've got a clan of 40 people, 9 times out of 10, you are going to be fighting each other.
Yeah,
and
that's very
that's
true.
the whole thing. Yeah,
that's very true.
Yeah, and you can't sort of say, well, okay, once you fought that person, you can't fight that person again for another 4 hours because there's not enough people on there to be able to do that with. So
eventually everyone's going to be in your queue eventually.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure our friend was making a point. It's not like his goal was to just have a brag. I don't think bragging rights were his goal, basically. But yeah. Anyway, finally, so let's read Jagex's response here. So this is from ModPie. He says, thanks for the feedback. Godbooks and Legacy have been on my radar for a while, to be honest. Deathmatch and Bounty Hunter have taken such a large chunk of my time that they have gone unaddressed for a long time, and he's sorry for that. Once Bounty Hunter is more stable, I will bump it up in my priority queue to look at it. Excuse me. Oh, God, my chest is killing me all of a sudden. You're totally right about the matchmaking system, he says. I'm going to be making some updates to it today to improve it, and I can improve it as you've suggested as well. So they're going to try to tweak the matchmaking system, it sounds like. I don't know how they're going to do that, though, with such a small... maybe they're going to tweak it so it works better for smaller sizes? I don't know. Another job I have today is a rewrite of the emblem system with the 2020 hindsight I've gained over the past few days. Expect something that is nicer for those PKing and more geared towards cashing in your emblem at a tier that matches your ability to PK. From me to all of the genuine PKers, I'd also like to say that I'm sorry that I've had to change the upgrade chances due to the situation, and I'm sorry I wasn't more prepared for what happened. On Tuesday, I had to make changes to protect not only the future profit of the rewards, but also the value of the existing items that sat near those rewards. A short-term hit to the experience of Bounty Hunter is better than a long-term hit to the game. I just know that I'm not happy with how it currently is, and I have every intention of addressing it, but in a way that won't take us back to Monday or Tuesday night morning. So, yeah, they messed up big time originally, obviously, with the boosting. So they're apparently gonna try a different system, which is nice to know that they are still going to be working on it, I guess. Although some people are probably not happy to hear that. Bounty Hunter was delayed, I believe, twice. Before it was finally released, and it was released in this state.
Delayed it a third time.
Yeah, now you can see why it was delayed twice. Go ahead.
But that's the thing is, that they delayed it twice to get it right because they weren't happy. They had to make sure they got it right. This is why we're doing this. We're going to make sure it's right. And it come out, and within a day, people knew how to boost it.
Yeah. So, what does that say about getting it right? To me, that says public test service.
I don't know if Jagex thinks the community is pretty dumb, but we're smarter than that.
I think that they just don't have the resources. I don't think
we could have tested this stuff.
I know, that's what I'm saying, is they should be releasing this stuff to public test servers instead of blindly releasing it into the live game.
Because I would have found this.
I still don't think a public test server would have found this, because most people would not have traded kills.
I would have found this.
I think,
no, you wouldn't have DX. People wouldn't have been buying or selling.
I think people would have figured it out.
People treat PTR so differently.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I like to think that somebody would have discovered that boost, because they'd be looking for ways in advance. I'm not saying that they'd report it, though. It's very well possible that people would have found out how to boost. I mean, if people figured out how to do it in one day, I think they probably could have figured out how to do it over the course of a couple weeks of testing. Just again, would they report it or keep it on the DL so they could sell kills when it was released? Like, PTR is not a perfect thing by in any way, shape, or form. People are, susceptible to greed, and there are still, reasons as to why PTR is not perfect. But I think it's better than just releasing it directly into the live game. Should I even bother trying Bounty Hunter at all? If you like PvP, I'd give it a go. If you're trying to get into PvP, I wouldn't waste your time with Bounty Hunter, really. But it's really, there are people doing it, so it's really about, do you enjoy it, right? Because I don't, so I'm not going to bother with it. I have no interest in PvP. But it does something. There are people actually playing it and possibly not cheating. Good.
Personally, I was gonna go in day one, but all the abuses kind of turned me off. I do plan on going in once it's actually, once the balance has actually been figured out. I do plan on doing it quite a bit, and hopefully this stuff will still be worth money when that happens.
Yeah, the items are still really cool, regardless. Like, I really want that decimation bow. I want the weapons, to be honest with you. The rune pouch would be amazing as well. Having those extra inventory spaces would be fantastic. I'm willing to straight up just buy that pouch, though. What's it like? I think it was like 30 million or something last time I checked. I'm sure it's fluctuated since then, but that was probably when people were boosting to get it. I'm sure it was supposed to be more expensive, but
I imagine that pouch might actually hold value easier because I think the weapons are just going to be worth slightly more, and people are going to buy the stuff that's worth more to sell, So
yeah,
the pouch may actually be one of the items that easy, or at least in the beginning, easy to retain value. I don't know how much. I mean, I know boosting is still a thing, but it's also just way harder to get points at this point. So I think that's the economy is somewhat stabilized because of that.
Yeah, I think that was their emergency response, basically, for the time being, until he has a chance to fix it, which sounds like that's what his job is today. So hopefully next game update we'll see a fix to the emblem system, and possibly to boosting. I don't know. It depends on how good his ELO rewrite is. I mean, certainly I couldn't. I don't have any ideas on how to fix it, so I'm curious to see what they're able to do.
And I think balancing it so that it's worth, because basically at this point it's not worth turning an emblem unless it's tier 10. Like a tier 9 emblem gives you 15,000 points, and a tier 10 one gives you 40,000.
Oh God, yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, so which I mean, they wanted to encourage streaking, but
Sure.
I think the one thing it's done is it's more encouraged the whole trading of kills for gold. So I think that's why they're kind of rethinking how the emblem system works there, to make it honestly just less worth even the idea of trading stuff, because you don't have to streak as high to make the emblems worth it. I think that's going to be a good thing.
So you heard it here first. Jagex supports streaking. So Alex is saying that
we need to bring him in some Windex,
saying that
way
he
it prevents them from streaking.
bought the rune pouch in for 20 million gold 2 days ago. So that's not bad at all. I'm wondering what its price will be with the adjustments to the system. If it's going to get more expensive or less expensive. I would like to get one though.
Yeah, honestly, if if you have a lot of money, it's possibly worth the gamble to buy bounty hunter items before Monday, because there's a good chance that they will spike once all these changes come in.
Possibility. Anyway, I'll keep going on here. More PvP topics to cover. This one's by Delta Slug, who says, last of the PvP updates. Just had Bounty Hunter release Deathmatch not too long ago. Wilderness Editions, Dual Anywhere system implemented. So, other than tweaking the dead minigames, anything else, this is going to be the last of the major PvP/PK updates for a while. And I'm not talking about bug fixes or hot fixes. I can't tell if this person is genuinely just asking a question or trying to say, stop wasting your time.
He's a non-member.
Okay, thank you for that, Captain. What else we got?
Yep. We still got the PvP portal in the Gamers Grotto
Okay.
that I haven't talked about. He hasn't mentioned.
So Autumn, one of our listeners, replies and says, God, I hope so. With all due respect to PvPers, these updates are not gripping the mainstream audience. Dual Anywhere is used by a few people now, but not many. Deathmatch doesn't have much people there. Bounty Hunter was full of boosters. PvP have had a lot of resources this year, and it hasn't done much to advance the situation. Many other areas have had much more support and need the resources. It makes little sense to keep beating a dead horse with no new ideas. Take a break from PvP because as it is now, it is just updates for the sake of updates. So, agree or disagree? Are these PvP updates just updates to appease the PvP community, or are we actually changing things? Are we Are we
No.
making it a better community for PvPers?
I think they're generally trying to get people to do PvP, but it's been such a long time since they did anything regarding PvP.
Is it working?
People just spread out. People just spread out all across RuneScape.
What are your thoughts, Pern?
I mean, Jagex generally want to try and get that PvP community back and give them some good quality updates. The problem is that you don't have a large enough community playing it that it is worthwhile. And as we say, I mean, people going, "Oh, there's 90 to 120 people on the legacy PvP." Well, 90 to 100 people playing that.
There's only 20 people right now on the Bounty Hunter SeaWorld.
There's only 23 people on the RuneScape official forums right now.
Most worlds
but
have
that's,
under 200 people.
Yeah, but you're looking at one world as opposed to 50 or 60 worlds. If you add all the worlds up, there's a lot more people playing. I mean, we're talking at 100 people playing out of 40,000 people online. What they're trying to do, I mean, I commend them for trying to do something for those people who really want it. But I mean, enough is enough. Tweak the little problems that are there, but it's just I think that the horse is bolted. They're trying to lock the gate after the horse is bolted. I think they would be better off now just putting those resources into things that are more mainstream for the majority of the players, rather than appeasing, those 500 or 600 who want it. Legacy seems to be the way most people want to do PvP, because you are appealing to those older players who remember it that way. I know Harley said before, you can't go backwards, but in that type of regard where those people, I mean, the reason most people quit was because of EOC, and I think you're trying to win over people who are unwinnable. They wanted their legacy. They liked the old version of it. That's the way they wanted to play it. They have no interest in EOC. So do we keep throwing good money after bad in developing this type of stuff that, the majority of PvPers don't like?
It kind of
some of the new players.
It seems like Jagex is trying to get people whom don't PvP to try it. Like deathmatch seemed like an entry point. Like they want people who they're trying to get people into the PvP community. They're trying to breathe life back into a community that has long since been dead, and it's not working, if you ask me, because it's not tickling my fancy, that's for sure. And that's
I have no interest in it whatsoever. And I think most people have moved beyond that type of thing now.
It's a shame. Yeah.
You can't just introduce a few updates to try to fix something you've been ignoring since EOC came out, though. I mean, this is a long, slow process. Like, there's going to be a ton of balance changes, like they're doing even to Bounty Hunter itself, but even like rebalancing EOC. Like, this is something that you can't just judge off the first week of release or the first month. And I think that they need to. They also can't just update something twice and then say, okay, we tried and we're done. Like, you need to keep. But they've tried it a few times.
They've tried it several times with different things, and every time we had the Crucible, we've had Bounty Hunter, we've had Deathmatch. I mean, they have tried a lot of different things, and they've even brought in Darkscape. They brought in an entire thing that gave you better XP and all that type of stuff. Yeah, I don't think the community that we have
now,
#
bring back Darkscape.
I'd love to bring that, but I mean, the thing is, I don't think we have the community now that warrants that type of thing. And yes, tweak it and do this, but I mean, as I said, I think they're they're locking the gate after the horse is bolted.
Sarah says, by the way, we can't give such a tiny percentage of the community months and months of development, which could be better spent elsewhere. So what are our thoughts on that? I mean, months and months, I agree that, like, everyone...
And it was months. Because they had to delay it, they had to go back and rework it, and they were spending a lot of time reworking it.
Go ahead.
The two comp capers are a smaller percent of the community than PKers. Like, we should have never released that cape then. Like,
that's not what Sarah's saying.
But that's an aim. That is an end game thing that people aim for. That is not just a constant content.
The essence of the comment here is that no amount of time should be spent on that at any given time. Like, months and months of content for a small community is a bad idea. An update here or there, not a bad idea. something when you say like the Comcape's a bad idea. It's the Comcape is just adding requirements here and there, like little hoops you have to jump through, whereas a Comcape requirement does not take months and months of update. It's generally like, here's a quest. Oh, by the way, you have to do X in this quest to keep your Comcape. Whereas, Deathmatch took months of development time, and so did Bounty Hunter. It even got delayed a couple of times. But again, I also want to address another point as far as this comment goes, because I also believe that there was a pretty small development team in charge of Bounty Hunter and Deathmatch. I don't think it was actually taking that much resources. I'm pretty sure it was a low priority project.
And the original plan was to have
Harley?
The original plan was to have all 3 wilderness updates come out in the same month.
Yeah, and that
people are acting like this was a ton of time, but it's like they delayed stuff to try to work on it more, and they were originally going to release them all together, and if they had released them all together, we wouldn't have even be calling this a bunch of updates.
True, it'd be one update.
But if I can interject there, it did become a bunch of updates because they had to keep reworking it. So that was tying. If it all come out at once, yeah, fine. But they've had to delay it. I mean, they brought out Wilderness Task Set. Then they had to delay Bounty Hunter and Deathmatch. Then they released Deathmatch because, they tweaked a few things there and got where they thought it was right. And then, no, we're going to have to hold back Bounty Hunter because we still need to work on that and get that right. So that is months and months of development time that they keep tying up and dragging away from other things. Even if it is only sort of 4 or 5 people who are working on it, that is 4 or 5 people that could have been doing something that's gonna be good for 40,000 people rather than 400 people.
I mean, I said it originally. Like, I'm glad they're giving PKers and the PvP community a chance because they deserve it, because they are a part of the community, however small. They weren't tiny. They used to be a huge community. They died because we let them die. We did not feed them. So they moved elsewhere.
This should have been done back in 2012. 2016, I think, you're not going. I don't think you're going to attract enough new people to it, and I think your older ones have either moved on or moved across to old school.
Is PKing and PvP becoming an outdated concept in RPGs specifically? Is it becoming more of a PvE style of gameplay?
It's always been a smaller community than some of the other ones, but I think there's still a very valid place for it, and it's just a matter of you can't just throw out updates and then right away expect that to bring back the whole community. It's an overtime effort to rebuild your community or to have one in the first place. And
I would say tweaking what they've created so far, I have no problem with that. Bug fix, tweaks, make it better, but
correct.
But as far as adding another huge piece of content, I'd say fix what you currently have first, and we'll talk later.
Totally do that. Maybe add some rewards, a year from now, and maybe in 2 years we add another piece of PvP content. I mean, I would totally agree with that. I just don't think it's something that should be completely left by the wayside.
Oh, me either.
Just because it's not working. Correct.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like how it's such a silly thing to say, right? It's like, this isn't working correctly, so let's avoid it at all costs. It's like, no, this isn't working correctly. Let's sit down and figure out how to make it work correctly.
Yeah.
But there are some things that are unfixable.
I mean, yes, there are some things that are unfixable, but I don't think that what we're arguing here is that PvP is completely dead. We're arguing here that the system they've created is not functioning correctly at the moment. The ELO system doesn't work, the emblem system is unfair, and a whole thing can be boosted. So with some work and some love and some feedback, I think over time, if 1 or 2 developers, work on this in their tap time for the next 6 months, we can eventually have a bounty hunter system and a deathmatch system that people or PvPers can be proud of and want to play.
Do you think at any time you are going to get enough people where they're not going to be able to? You're not going to have a clan of 50 people or 100 people going in there. Okay, let's all get together. Bang, when we go in there, this is the way we work it out. We're going to boost it. I don't think you are ever going to have enough variety of people who don't know each other in that group to do that. So they'll sit there, they'll get the rewards, they'll get those out selling, get those T87 weapons, split the money between the clan, those type of things. I don't think you have enough people in that community, and I don't think you're going to draw enough new players across, that you're going to revive
I have no
enough
problem
to do that.
See, I have no problem with a clan of 50 people getting together and doing whatever they want with it. It's just a matter of, are they playing the game correctly or not? Like, that's
exactly. No.
And if we can make it so they have to play the game correctly to get any meaningful reward, I don't care if it's a closed group of people. I play Stealing Creation with a friends chat or something. You do portables with a friends chat. People get together all the time to make the game a better place. It's just, can we get together to make Bounty Hunter more enjoyable without making Bounty Hunter just a point farming system? That's what I want to see.
I mean, you can look at things like raids or even like the highest like Telos level of PVM, and that community is pretty small, and it shouldn't receive a million updates, but there should still be new higher end bosses coming out every once in a while, and raids should get new content at some point. Maybe not in 2017. They got a bunch in 2015, so like 2018 we see some new raids bosses. That's completely fair. Like, the smaller parts of your community should still be addressed. It's still going to keep some players in, and there's no way to know if over time this could draw more people to the community or not. Because I think like something that could happen, like players come back to the game all the time, and so like if for the next year people who used to PK come back to the game and Bounty Hunter is a thing, that could totally be a reason that they will stay and keep playing.
Yeah. I agree with what you're saying, and I have no problem with like any community receiving a long-term update. It's just a matter of making sure that time is properly allocated to each individual community.
I mean, I think now they've got the systems in there. They have 2 good new PvP things. Now they also have a place to add rewards. So like if they think of a good new PvP reward that they want to be untradeable, you add it to Deathmatch. If they think of a good one to keep making money, you add it to Bounty Hunter. I think that gives them a good content for the next couple of years. Sorry.
No, that's okay. If I can go back to what you said about bringing new people back, but if you've got clans in there of 50 or 60 people who are pretty much owning all those games, and new people are trying to get into them, but they're just getting owned every time they go in because it's not single-way combat. So you can have 6 people attack every person at once, and they just split the rewards and things like that. And
it's single-way at the wall.
Points and such. At the wall it is, but when you're going in properly, it becomes multi-way.
Well, I think
this is a problem.
That's a fair part of the risk, though. I mean, that's how the system is designed. Like, if you want to risk more than go into multi-way, but most people are hanging out.
Do you get more rewards for being in multi-way?
It's always worked. No, but you can take a team with you into multi-way, and other people can take teams too, and that's what.
Can you be assigned to like? That would be really cool if you could be assigned like Slayer teams like combat teams that you had to fight like 3v3 matches and whatnot. That would be really cool.
Be cool. Yeah.
Like there is potential here. This is the infancy of a system we're seeing.
Remember with Heist. I mean, Heist was a fun game when it first came out, and
I still think it is fun.
System. It is. It's a really fun game, but you can't find.
We should all play Heist this evening
because people who game the system.
Yeah,
and I mean, and that's the same. Castle Wars used to be a fun game. You can't play a decent game anymore because people game the system. And I really think this Bounty Hunter. In concept, it's fantastic. I would love to try it, but people will game the system, and it just becomes unfun.
If people are going to game the system, yeah, it's going to become, as you say, unfun. If we can put enough safety checks in place to make the system as ungameable as possible, like we don't have to make it. You don't have to fix the problem. You just have to make the problem so unpleasant that it's not. It's better to just play it normally. Like if. Like I could just sit in Castle Wars and do nothing and get, a silver ticket, right? Or I can work with a team and play the game and actually win and get gold tickets. And believe me, I know there are ways to get both. There's boosting team. What I'm saying here is if we can make it so actually killing your assigned target in a meaningful fight will yield more points for you than killing a target that literally just sits there and takes it. And I know that also produces a problem because if I remember correctly, they had a system back in the day that had a very similar issue where it was about the intensity of the fight and people would just fight and eat a bunch of food. This was before EOC, the bounty hunter system back then, and they would just eat a bunch of food, fight each other, eat a bunch of food, fight each other, eat a bunch of food. So it would look like a crazy battle went on, but in reality, it was all staged,
Well,
so it's so hard to get this to work right. But
that's exactly it.
The things that they've done, like making it so you can't trade on the world, that discourages quite a few people because it makes it so much easier to get scammed. Like, sure, you can still trade kills, but like you have to trust that person to meet you on a different world after they've killed you. Like that adds so much more risk to actually doing it. When before, like, you could get paid half of it before the kill and then the other half after. There was all kinds of stuff like that. And I also think, like we were talking about, they're going to be changing how important it is to streak to 10 kills. I think that is going to help too, because part of it is I think that people, like, it's just not, it's hard to get 10 kills back to back in any kind of PvP scenario. So unless you're the best PvP, you weren't getting
unless you're playing Overwatch, a 10-player kill streak is actually challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't think there's really I think the last time I had like an ongoing like 10+ player kill streak was probably back in, like, a long time ago when we're talking games like Soldier of Fortune and Command and Conquer Renegade. I don't know if anyone remembers that game. By the way, you can still play Command and Conquer Renegade. It still works. Someone made a mod of it. This, all the old Command and Conquer games have been all remodded. It's fantastic. Anyway,
before we go on, if I could just read a post down a bit further by Vasith, who says, I don't know why, instead of listening to the few old school PKs who make up a tiny minority in the game, they don't listen to what the majority of players have said positively about PvP. I hear the same thing time and time again. World Event 2 was a great PvP event that everyone I know or spoke to utterly loved. If they make another PvP update, it has to be a rework or re-edition of the World Event 2. To be honest, that's the most involving and entertaining and fun community participation I've seen in RS, and it needs to come back. All we need to do is work out a reward system, remove the deathmatch, and putting its rewards into the World Event clone would be fine. And yes, before anyone says it, this should be in the real above world of RS, not some shared, hidden away area purposefully made for it. You could even add an option with sufficient warnings where you could turn yourself to an unsafe mode, where if both players are in unsafe mode, the loser will drop their gear on death as long as the person who is on the unsafe death mode does the most damage. Possibilities are endless, but if it's a World Event 2...
This sounds convoluted.
Love it. Yeah, I don't know about the unsafe mode, but World Event 2 was a PvP.
It was good.
That I loved, and most people did enjoy it, and that's the type of thing I think. I was
really nervous when
you're fighting in factions and things like that.
I was really nervous when they announced that World Event 2 was going to be PvP. I was like, oh god, this is going to ruin the event, and then it turned out that they managed to do it really freaking well. Yeah,
they did that really well.
Don't you explain World Event 2 for those of us who did not get to participate in it?
All right, who wants to do it?
It's a Bandos versus Armador, isn't it?
There you go. There's your description.
Yeah. Okay, so that's why it was PvP. Makes perfect sense.
Go ahead.
What you did, you actually fought for factions. So you fought either for Bandos or for Armadil.
Couldn't you be on the Godless as well? Yeah.
You could be the Godless as well, and basically you could go out and attack people of the other factions. You could attack basically what they were carrying things through the world. You had to defeat the
caravan,
NPCs,
the convoys,
the convoys. Yep, and the other faction would be there to try and protect it and let it get through.
The other faction could basically kill you when you were trying to kill their It's basically Overwatch, what do you call it? Escort mission. Go ahead.
It sounds kind of like what I know about Wilderness Warbands as well.
Kind of, sort of. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the beauty of it is you had decent level NPCs, but you also had other players, and you could fight in clans that way because you would have clans sort of fighting for Armadillo and have clans fighting for Bandos, and
if you wanted to participate in the event, but you didn't want to die, even though it was a safe death, you didn't want to be bothered with it, you could turn off the PvP, and it would just take double the time to collect the resources.
Yes. You could
do it either way. It was just super inconvenient to do it with PvP off. But if you wanted PvP off, you were welcome to have it off. What was fun about about the events would basically be a convoy would spawn, right? And if it's your convoy, you would run to it and you would defend it,
protect it.
and if it wasn't your convoy, you'd run to it and try to kill the convoy. And then you'd have skillers that would also run there who would be augmenting the convoy, building defenses and whatnot for the convoy, which would gain you construction XP. And I think you could get Herblore XP as well. I forget what the other one, but I always went for the construction XP.
Yeah. Construction is something else, but yeah, I did the construction as well.
Yeah, construction XP was really good.
I kept my PvP turned on because you got double points.
Exactly. So you would skill with PvP turned on.
Times.
Yeah, but and then you would mainly just hide behind bodyguards. There generally would be a bunch of people who would just stand there and with full gear on, waiting for people who wanted to fight, and they would just have a fight, and the skillers were mostly left alone, save for your random, griefer who just liked to kill skillers. It was a lot of fun.
But it was that good risk, because as a skiller, you still got your risk, you still got killed and all that occasionally.
Yeah.
But it was a good team event, and it was really, really fun. And yeah, I think something like that would be good. The problem is, again, though, it's safe PvP. Would I like it where while I'm wearing the gear that I'm wearing, I would lose if I died? No, I probably wouldn't be involved in it if I had that risk. And that's where I think a lot of people don't like the risk of losing their items. People would be sitting there and just having sort of. Yeah, I'd be wearing like.
Well, that's the big difference between PvP and PKing, in my opinion. But
yes.
We'll see. And that actually launches me into something that I've wanted to talk about on the show, and what I think possibly one of the biggest issues facing building a PvP community in RS3 is the fact that you still lose weapons and such in the game. And I know we talked about this in a previous show, so I don't want to go down that angle of it completely. But I think, like when we have things like the death system where you just respawn at death and you buy your items back from him, you don't have to run back to your gravestone, and they don't drop on the ground like they used to back in the day. The idea of losing your items in the wilderness feels so terrifying to anything else you do in the game anymore, that it's kind of something that I think they should take into consideration to actually help PvP be a thing, is fixing that and making that not a thing. Because it also means like the people who will wear like T90 weapons out into the wilderness for bounty hunter just have such a huge advantage over anything anybody else will do. And it's like,
but if they get teamed up on, like if you get them in a multi-way and defeat them, like that's a lot of money they just lost right there. But and I know like it probably is nothing to them, but
I think it's just like I still think a fair battlefield, like a fair field of advantage where there isn't one on one side or the other, is still a better option than the slight possibility of getting a ton of money sometimes.
I agree with DX. Death should be decked out with bling. He should have like giant coin piles behind him, a la Scrooge McDuck. Go ahead.
Harley said last time where when you die, you go to death, you buy your money back. And I think she was suggesting that when you die in PvP, you go to death, that money then goes to the player who killed you. So you still keep your stuff, and you've got to pay them that sort of 750k or whatever. I would probably risk PKing in that regard if I didn't lose my stuff, I didn't have to worry about that.
If you just paid the death penalty to the PK.
Yes. And maybe there's an extra 10% that, death keeps a 10% tax. So you're actually taking a little bit of money out of the game. Or there is, you have your tokens.
Just make it more expensive to die.
You get a token.
In the wilderness,
you buy, you buy, you'll buy something from there. So say, I die at Araxor, it cost me 500k. If I die in the wilderness, it's going to cost me an extra 20%. So it's going to be 600k. But of that 100k, the person who dies only gets 500k, but they also get tokens, which they can then use to buy things from death to sell, like those rune pouches and all that. So, I mean, I don't think this is just sort of throwing spitballs, but
see, I think that would work perfectly just in the bounty hunter worlds. Like, you don't have to add rewards for the other worlds. It's the other worlds are just like you can PK if you want to make the money based on the value of what they're wearing. But in the bounty hunter worlds, it would work perfectly because you die, the person would drop the gold, and then they would also give you a token because you got that kill, and then you go turn in that kill for the bounty hunter rewards. I do think that would help. I think that would help considerably make PvP much more popular in RS3 because I don't think people want to risk their. I think that's the most antiquated thing about PvP is risking armor. Like it just never feels good to lose your items. It feels like
that's
shit.
the point, right? Though I thought.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
It was, but I think it discourages more people than
you might be right about
encourages.
Go back to when before the death system starts to come out. When you went and fought Bandos or Saradomin or whatever in the God Wars dungeons, and you died. You had to race back and try and get those 40 kills again to get back in and try and get your gear. I always had an emergency teleport, and if I got down too low, bang, I'm straight out of there.
Sure.
Now I'll just keep going, and okay, if I die, okay, I'm just gonna get my stuff back. Pay my penalty. Yeah, okay. The value that I lose could be higher, and it probably wouldn't worry me than trying to race back because it's no stress. I'll just pay the money, bang, and move on. And I think I would PK if it was a similar type of system, and they changed it for PVM. So I don't understand why they can't look at something like that for PvP.
Yeah, I really hope they do. I really do. I think that would be the biggest boost to the community is that disincentive being removed. Because it's one thing that I agree in, like most modern games do. Like I agree with every other aspect of RuneScape, and there's definitely a part of the community that likes that, right? Like old school is huge, so there's obviously people who still don't have a problem with that. But like I still think that, like, especially if you just look at RS3 players, the people who are left here, we don't like dying and losing stuff. Like, I would not be learning a Raxty if I had to run back to my grave every time because, like, I hate having to do that. I hated it so much.
Yeah, grave system was super annoying. I mean, Pern has some interesting ideas. I want to bring up Elite's comment here and see what people have to think about this as far as the World Event 2 are relating. It says the reason why World Event 2 worked is because it was opt-in, part of your daily routine, and wasn't a grind. Debatable as far as the grind goes. Again, if you had PvP turned off, it turned into like an hour-long grind. Whereas if you had it on, it was like 20, 30 minutes. So I think that's subjective. I agree an hour isn't a long grind, but I think some people may disagree with that. But overall, I agree with most of what Elite has to say there. It worked really well, and I think opt-in is a great way to go for a lot of things. But when you come to the nature of PvP in general, or PKing specifically, opt-in, I don't think is... I don't think it's an option. And
yeah, I mean, it works in some areas, but the wilderness is meant to be an
the wilderness
PvP area.
Right. Yeah, I mean, here's what I feel. The wilderness, to me, is supposed to feel like no man's land. It's supposed to feel dangerous. I'm supposed to feel like bad guys are around every corner. I could get ambushed at any second and die. It's supposed to feel like that. I want it to feel like that. The game, in my opinion, needs a place that feels harrowing, and I think the wilderness used to do a great job of that. Doesn't anymore. If you go onto my channel, you'll see some videos of me just chilling in the wilderness for hours on end, basically just making gear from scratch and fighting dragons and stuff, just proving that there's no danger in the wilderness at all. Then we have
trying to do divination.
Yeah, well, now they've gone and revamped the wilderness slightly, and they've added a lot more interesting things into the wilderness, so it's a little more dangerous. And maybe I should do a follow-up on that series, actually, to see if I can still pull it off with all the new... And I should do it the entire time, because when I did the series, it was all pre-Demonic Skull. I should do the whole thing with the Demonic Skull on. That would be interesting. Maybe. I don't know.
It would.
Go ahead.
How sickening was what they did to the legendary pet in the wilderness.
Oh, yeah, we played your video on last show about that, yeah. You were not happy, and neither am I. Yeah, now you gotta maintain your risk, huh?
Well, I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
but still, that is something that we actually bought off the Solomon store. It was you could do that all the way through, and now all of a sudden they've just changed something that was a feature of that unit that people paid money for.
Well, things change. You've said it before. The game's it's a dynamic game. Things change. What can you do? You just gotta.
I mean, that was sometimes. It's not like they only took it away in that one case. It's not like you can't do every other node item.
Believe me.
No, yes, it is
just divination energy.
No, every other noded item.
Yeah, no noded.
It doesn't do it anymore
items.
anywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it anywhere anymore.
So the patch
So when
notes
I'm
said that differently, then okay.
yeah,
I didn't even
no.
try
So
it.
when I used to, you know, when you do Dark Beasts and that, and you start running out of room, you'll just send a whole pile of stuff back.
Did you try
every
that?
10
Because I
minutes.
swear that I tried it post. I tried noted items post patch, and they'd sent every single one.
I can do it right now if we want.
Yep.
Speaking of the patch notes, remember when Pern said he'd be on Wednesday's show and in his patch notes and he wasn't.
I mean, he said he wasn't going to be there, so it was okay. He told me in advance.
That's right, because I have an actual job, DX, and sometimes you get called, your roster gets changed and things like that. That's why I sent a major PM about it.
I'm going to quickly, I'll move my screen over to the main RuneScape screen here for a second so people can take a look. I'm gonna make a legendary pet. I don't need to use a Beast of Burden, right?
No, you just use the bank option on it in a pile.
How do I? Okay, select item. So I'm gonna pick.
Sarah. I don't mind if they just blocked it in the wilderness.
Well, hang on.
That wouldn't bother me so much.
All right. So does it need to be a noted item or just a stacked item?
A stack item.
All right. So I'm gonna try to send 6,700 incandescent energy to my bank in the Max Guild. Okay.
That energy is the thing that they patched. So you have to do. I mean, like runes would be something to test, but like energy was stated as
okay. How about 530 soul runes then?
Sure.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds like a good thing to try.
All right. 530 soul runes. You have to wait 10 minutes before doing it again. Confirm. All soul runes went to the bank.
Oh, they did they?
Yep. It's just energy.
Well, that's fine then. If it's just energy, then that's not so bad.
Good morning, King Jack. Welcome. So that's not horrible. It's not great for people, but it's not horrible.
No, that's fine. That I don't mind then. If it is just
bit.
energy, that's no. But that's because I mean the whole idea of the wilderness is the risk anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't care about that. I thought it was everything because when I'm down,
because you paid for that feature.
I'll just throw. That's right. So that's fine.
Yeah.
If it's just wilderness, I don't care in the wilderness because obviously that's the risk. The risk is in the wilderness. So if it's just energies, then okay, I have no. I mean, do I like it? No. Do I have an issue with it? Well, no, because you should be taking risks in the wilderness anyway.
Exactly why they patched the pack yak earlier this year to not work past level 30 or whatever.
Yeah, after 9 years.
But
Pern,
they did. They got to it.
This is from Elite. This is from Elite Pern. Darn it, Pern, how dare you not appear on a podcast instead do your job? You're the worst.
How dare you have an actual life? Welcome back, Magic Turtle. Welcome back. Oh, really good discussion.
Spent an hour on PvP.
We have spent an hour on PvP, and I wish it was. I think it's the last PvP topic we have for now. I think we're going to talk about it again later.
I hope the JMods listening to the show pass on our wilderness ideas.
Yeah,
Seriously,
he's looking at you, Mod Balance. Anyway, real quick before we
if you are listening, Mod Balance, we need to get you one again soon.
Yes, indeid. Hit us
Contact us.
Indeed. Well, speaking of, why don't we quickly just, before we go into our next topic here, take a quick little break. We'll break over, I'm going to press the Alt-O key 100 times until it changes my screen, but it'll eventually do it. There we go. To just talk about our Patreon page at patreon.com/RuneScape. You can go there. You can support the show. If you start at $3 plus, you're going to get bonus content. As you can see, I'm scrolling through here, different shows. Between $3 and $15 a month will get you bonus content. It varies on how many shows we put out. But there's tons of content no matter what level you pledge at, whether it's $3 or more, because we've been doing this for well over a year now. So whatever tier you pick, there is plenty of bonus content you've never heard before. So you can subscribe now at patreon.com/RuneScape. Support the show on a monthly basis and get bonus content for doing so. And of course, you can pledge any level you want. Even our $1 a month patrons will occasionally get content as well when we do like just live streams or something like that. Little bonus pieces. So there's stuff for everybody here. But some shows are locked, or the shows are mainly locked, but there's other content as well. And this entire time I'm talking about patreon.com/RuneScape. Still scrolling. There's still shows. There's so many shows. So anyway, patreon.com/RuneScape. Consider supporting us on a monthly basis. We greatly appreciate it. Anyway, let's continue on here. We have our next post. called "Bring Back Good Old RuneScape," or old good RuneScape. Excuse me. I thought maybe this person almost put a good sentence together. My bad.
Didn't they already do that though? It's called Old School RuneScape.
Yeah, right. Imagine, that's funny. It's like what if there was a version of RuneScape called Old Good RuneScape? Wouldn't that just make everything better? It's like, well, we have Old School RuneScape. Is that good enough for you?
Missed it by one word. Not good enough.
I know, it's not quite there. So here's what you do to bring back Old Good RuneScape according to 2JZGE. 1. Remove Solomon's General Store, all those fake replica outfits, wings, animations, pets, etc. And no, don't make another server where you can disable Solomon's Store. Game have already been split up in 3 parts.
Game have already?
Game have already been split up in 3 parts. 2. Retro armor, weapons, and items. That's number 2. Well, what is it?
So, just play old school. Still my response.
Yeah, play old school. 1, play old school. 2, play old school. 3, remove EOC once and for all, aka play old school. Okay, I think we're all set there. I like the first response by Medman. It's just no, it's just straight up, just no.
I should say 2ZZGE is not me. Okay, so
you're not. I mean, I hope not. I mean, you do some silly things, but I don't think you've ever constructed a sentence like "a game have already been split up in 3 parts." So the day
I have my occasional typo of pronunciation there.
The day that happens, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to let you go.
Take me out the back of the shed and
shoot you right in the head. What's up, Harley?
This post, I mean, like 100% doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
They are already catering to your wishes.
I know.
And
this thread's not locked.
Literally a version of the game for you. It exists. It's popular. There's plenty of players.
Hopefully it's the last time we spend an hour talking about PvP Elite. I can't guarantee it with the way Jagex changes things constantly. Yeah.
The one thing that was good is I like the retro. I like the retro armor stuff. I like the retro overrides and stuff. That's probably one of the only things I really like about it.
Oh yeah, the retros from Solomon's General Store, they're great. I love them too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're nostalgic for sure.
I
wish they do it in more armors. Go ahead.
That annoyed me so much, I made a post on that myself.
Oh, really? On the post that I just read?
Yes.
Would you like to read your response?
Yeah.
You don't sound too thrilled about it.
No, yeah. I hate people like this. My vote would be to remove you. EOC is a fantastic update and actually made me enjoy combat. I'm sick of Neanderthals calling for the removal of EOC. Don't like it? Go play OSRS.
Seriously.
Ooh. Savage.
Exactly. That's literally what every comment on that post should just be play old school.
How do I quote? Yeah, I want to quote you, but I'm going to remove most of your quote and just say go play old school R. Go play OSR. How do you do that? How do you quit? I think I have to be logged in first, right? That probably helps. I'm never logged into the forum. Well, that's not even my fault. The forums log you out after like 1 nanosecond of inactivity.
Yep, they do. It's frustrating.
It's very silly. Okay, so quote. Yeah, so then I can just... I love how you can totally just modify the quote.
Yeah, I know.
And make...
You can make people sound really bad.
Just the quote, I am not a bot.
Yeah, also, I am not...
Zeno would probably know how many
I'm not gonna
posts... Zeno would probably know in RuneLabs just how many posts had removed EOC and stuff like that. I reckon he's probably one of them.
I'm sure that he could do that if he wanted to. I don't know what we'd do with that data. or just turn Legacy on, I suppose. I think Legacy, if you truly want the experience this person's asking for, though, Legacy's not going to remove Solomon. It's not going to remove cosmetics. You know, it's not going to. It will remove EOC though. But again, you're handicapping yourself.
Yes. He wants AOC gone. He wants all cosmetics gone, and he also only wants retro armor. Like
nothing above Rune, please. That's too complicated.
Nothing above.
Remove
What are you
3D
talking about?
graphics.
Rune is
Hashtag bring
crap.
back classic. Yeah, I like that. Exactly. That'll be a great shitpost to make. Like you're totally like you're not serious, like satire style. Just be like, I'm really sick of these 3D graphics. I really want to go back to the sprite-based days. Can we like please bring back RuneScape Classic? Like microtransactions, forget about that. I miss the days when you got like 8 quest points for completing a 5-minute quest. Anyway.
Somebody should make a post called "Add microtransactions to RuneScape Classic."
That would be great too. Write all these down. Save them for April Fools. We'll just flood Reddit because nobody goes on the forums. Oh, it actually would probably be easier to flood the forums because nobody goes there. But then no one would see it. Okay. Our next post here, moving over to RuneScape Reddit shortly here. Surprisingly, though, I would say like 80% of our show's content today is actually from the forums opposed to Reddit, even though, the forums are dying. Anyway, this post is from Reddit, though. It's by Mr. GW, who says, top 10 useless or outdated rewards. I found this to be interesting. Got some mod comments as well, so we'll talk about them. Because in no particular order, these are 10 rewards that are supposed to be useful, but simply aren't either because they're bugged, poorly balanced, and or outdated. There are likely many more rewards that would fit this, but I chose 10. I will be adding them in future lists. So
can you actually have it? Can you actually read them out the way David Letterman used to? The top 10. You can have a bit of music playing in the background in number 10 and blah 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 and number 9.
I'm gonna pass on that, but I don't know if I'd have the. We'll just call it skill. That's what we'll call it. We'll call it skill. I don't know if I'd have the skill to do that. But number 1 is Ardoin Elite Tasks. 5% chance of making 2 rune limbs from 1 bar when smithing them at Yanil. Smithing rune limbs is a waste of time and money, and this reward won't even work if your inventory space is full. Considering limbs only require 1 bar, this will most likely be the case if smithing them in bulk. So yeah.
Don't you get, if you're high alka, don't you get like 10k or something for a rune limb?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
It's 8.9, I think it is, for the rune limbs, and the bars are about 10k.
So below, it's better to just elk the bars.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Useless reward that is attached to an elite task right there. There's number 1. Number 2 is from the Karamja elite tasks, double damage to wild dogs. And actually, this would have been fantastic in RuneScape Classic. As wild dogs is like where I trained. Well, I trained on guard dogs, but let's be honest. Where do you think they got those guard dogs from? Alright, in pre-AOC, the Karamja dungeon was single combat and wild dogs were aggressive. This made them a nuisance as they prevented you from killing other NPCs. Doubling damage against them meant you could spend less time killing dogs and more time killing whatever you wanted to kill. These days, the dungeon is multi-combat. The dogs aren't aggressive anymore, and they're much weaker, making this reward obsolete. This reward has also been bugged for years and never actually worked, even back in pre-AOC where it would have been useful. So completely useful, completely useless thing that even when it was useful was useless because it didn't work. So there you go. That one is from the Karamja tasks for elite Karamja tasks for double damage on wild dogs. Number 3 is from the Ardoin medium tasks. Double length PvP immunity after pulling the wilderness teleport lever.
Does anyone remember me saying this? The immunity
2 weeks ago. Yep.
I don't remember that actually, but I will give you credit for it nonetheless. Because Pern remembers. Entering the wilderness via the Ardoin lever does not provide any PvP immunity. Doubling nothing is still nothing, so this reward does nothing. This reward was... Didn't you say last week, though, DX, that you went out there and tested it and it does work?
I was like, it was about a month ago. It did work.
We can go test it right now if you want. I'll de-gear myself. We can go teleport out and you can try to kill me if you want. So I'll continue reading here. It says, this reward was released in 2009, back when the wilderness was not a PvP area, and instead it was restricted to PvP and bounty worlds. Entering a PvP area on those worlds would grant you a 5-second immunity. This reward would double to 10 seconds if entering via the Ardoin lever. So this was
You've got to do this by the. You got to make sure you do this by the Ardoin lever.
Correct. You have to pull the Ardoin lever. Do you want to do that? I can just let me know, and I'll go again, dump my stuff, and we could try it. But again, useless, obviously, considering A, no one's ever over there anymore, and B, I guess this wouldn't even have any use on, I think, the Bounty Hunter worlds, because you can't leave Edgeville /Grand Exchange, so useless.
Yes, a couple of months ago, this did work.
Pern?
And I was in World 60.
Yeah, I was going to say the only place it would be useful would be World 60 for penguin hunting.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. Number 4 is the Tree Gnome Village Quest Gnome Amulet. This amulet once gave one of the highest defense bonuses in the game and was a useful amulet for low-level players. The examine info even applies. It is an amulet of protection. Since EOC, this is now a cosmetic item and no longer has any stats. Well, that's ironic. Yeah, that's kind of silly. Why would they do that?
I actually remember getting that.
Yeah, that amulet was badass. I used that amulet when I got that amulet back in RuneScape Classic. That was like my main bossing amulet. Before I had, basically because I had lost my Amulet of Glory, and those were a pain in the ass to get back in the day. So I would instead, when I was fighting AFK, I would never bring my best rare items with me and bring lower level gear. So if I died, I wouldn't lose it, and that was a great replacement. We have some conspiracy theories before we move on to number 5 here from Elite Power here, who says, Mage conspiracy theories, you know they got those guard dogs from the wild, right? And don't get me started on how Mod Osborne is a play fusion Mod Osborne is a play fusion spy ruining the game with bad PvP updates to help MMG. Oh my god. Did I say that second one?
That's just elite. That's not our words at all. We love that.
6 of the downloaded posts from Rune Labs contain the words remove EOC. Keep in mind that Jagex removed some ideas. Is it really only 6? I thought there was more. Try just EOC though, and see.
But they did say with anything that was remove EOC, they were going to remove. So those are probably the ones that just got through that they didn't see.
Yeah, it probably happened right before Rune Labs went down or something.
Yeah.
Or it must have been like 60,000 bloody remove EOC posts which Jagex removed.
I imagine that those people there's way less. I mean, I know there's still some, but it's got to be so few these days because they've either went to old school or gotten over it. Like I don't
just
think
Neanderthals who just can't move on from it. Some of them.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely some. I just doubt it's that many these days.
No, I don't. Yeah.
I'll continue on here. Number 5 is Karam when poisoned. Once the strongest poison tied with weapon poison ++, EOC changed how poison works. Rather than be applied on weapons, it is a temporary buff that causes any weapon to inflict poison. Attempting to apply Karam when poison in the same way as the potions will instruct you to use the poison on a spear instead of granting you a buff. Doing so will make the spear completely unusable until the poison is removed. These spears were also the only way to directly damage the Shaikahan. I'm not even gonna Shaikahan? That's the best you're getting out of me with that one.
Could have just called him Simba.
So it literally makes...
It looks like Simba.
I didn't even know that, I'll be honest. So this one is... I mean, poison has been completely changed. So this weapon, this reward, literally makes... Instead of making it one of the most potent poisons in the game, literally makes the spear useless. So that's a shame. Elite Fremnik tasks access to a new section of the Jatso mine. This new section contains 3 myth rocks, 2 atom rocks, and an NPC that notes ores. Woohoo. There's no shortage of ore in the game. So, yeah.
No, does anyone actually mine ore for that reason anymore? Other than
I don't think so.
I used to.
You just kill monsters now, and they give you more than what you'll get mining.
They mine ore and to keep it is during the hour on in Prif. I can't think of what that's called.
The Traherne hour?
Yeah, the Traherne hour, and you join the FC and Hop Worlds. It's a great way to make money. You can make quite a bit of money in that hour mining rune.
Oh yeah,
only rune, yeah. But I mean, no one sort of does mithrils and addies now to make money and do that. They'll just
definitely not myth. I think addy is still decent in Traherne hour too if you don't have the rune level. But
or if some dickbag came along and mined it right before it started. Anyway, so let's see here. We have number 7, Elite Desert Tasks. A granite buyer at the quarry will buy granite for 20% of the GE price. Would not be bad. A reward for lower levels when mining granite is relevant. Elite Task requires 81 mining, which means by then you have access to far better training methods. So that's ironic. It's finally I can make this granite method slightly usable, but oh wait, I can just go to the living rock caverns now. So I guess good fight. So
although granite best XP in game if you're using
crystallize, right? Yeah. But crystallize would also mean you're not producing an item, thus this reward would not even take any place. Yep.
But still, I mean, mining it even without crystallize is still pretty good XP.
I power mine granite until 77.
Yeah, but you would just drop it. You wouldn't take the time to run over and sell it because that's then you're losing that best XP.
What stinks, I believe, about granite is there's no like action bar drop option. It like crafts it.
God, I know.
Yeah,
I dropped it all one by one. What?
I spent literally like 10 minutes, 20 minutes trying to like get into mining granite, and then I was like, screw this, I'm just gonna level via the clan until 89.
Yeah. It's frustrating as all hell, that's for sure. All right, I'll continue on here. We only got a few more of these to go. Ascendancy Mines, not to be confused with the Dominion Mines, which work on most non-NPC bosses and are bought for 10,000 GP for a set of 10. Each set of 10 mines requires 500 boss kills, and they only work on very few quest bosses. They cannot be used inside the tower, so they're basically useless once you have all quests in which these mines can be used on. In pre-EOC, they removed 20% of the boss's health, similarly to Dominion Mines, and ignored any damage caps, which was useful for bosses like Nomad and Pest Queen. Unsure how they will work in EOC, but based on how Dominion Mines work, they will likely remove 20% of the health, capped to 10,000 damage. So
I hate those Ascendancy Mines because I got like a stack of them in my bank.
I've never heard of them
because I thought I could do something outside the Dominion Tower with them, and when I realized I couldn't, it was like, screw you.
So why don't you just drop them?
That's a good point. Can we disassemble them? I wonder.
Maybe.
Can we disassemble a mine?
Go find out. And if you survive, let me know. But, in all seriousness, I've never heard of Ascendancy Mines. I didn't know they were a thing.
They're a waste of space, basically.
Okay. I almost made a really mean joke right there, but I won't.
Don't pick on DX like that.
I never... Now. Anyway. Number 9, Storm of Armadillo. It does exactly the same as a standard air spell, but requires a ton of quests to unlock and uses Armadillo runes, which aren't exactly easy to come by. That's stupid.
Like, it used to be a good spell.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Apparently now it's the same power as an air spell. Number 10.
Sorry, but since we were speaking of mining extra quick, I just finally got 85 mining, so now I can mine rune. That's exciting.
Congrats. Well done.
Oh, nice. Well done. Only 15 years late to the party, unfortunately.
Yeah, right?
That's how I felt when I was like, great, only 13 years late to now becoming a billionaire. No, but anyway.
Well, with the rework coming, hopefully billions are in my future.
Hopefully billions are in all of our futures. Okay, number 10, Sears Village Elite Tasks. Coal trucks automatically bank up to 200 coal per day. By the time you have the levels to finish this task set, chances are you won't be mining coal using the coal trucks. Yeah, you'll probably be in the living rock caverns mining gold. So, again, useless, so useless. We have 3 bonus ones that have been added since, by the way. Number 11, Birth Rage of the Dwarves, Dragon Warhammer. Level 60 weapon with a Grandmaster quest requirement, which in turn requires level 85 strength. Other dragon weapons can do the same job, plus they have special attacks, unlike the hammer. The hammer is literally useless. That's a shame. Number 12, Corrupt Revenant gear. Expensive and rare, level 20 weapons that degrade to dust.
Just to go back to those Dragon Warhammers, they're good for high elking.
That's about all they're good for, unfortunately. And finally, number 13, Deadliest Catch. Wieldable small and large nets. Obsolete due to tool belts, yeah. After an annoying-ass quest like that, and then you find out your reward is to equip 2 items that have literally no use in the game whatsoever, and cannot even be used.
That was actually good though. When
back in the day,
when I first did that. Oh yes, I can just wield that. That gives me an extra spot for fishing.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, the barbtail harpoon was like one of my favorite items back in the day because it allowed you to hold 1 extra shark.
Yes.
Mod Wolf replies and says, in all fairness, as your title suggests, these rewards are balanced at a previous time frame when a chunk of these things weren't too bad as a reward. Several of these things can likely be updated to more prevalent in the current state of the game by us ninjas if everyone desires. I'll add them to our hit list and discuss what could occur with them. Edit, note, this isn't a promise that all of these will definitely be changed, but we'll look at them on a case-by-case basis when we have the time, starting by the things listed in the comments and the main point within the thread, most likely. Sound fair? So, there you go.
Can you imagine if someone made a list of everything in the game that is like super outdated though, and
it would
use some kind of update?
Oh,
I imagine there's hundreds of thousands.
I
of
bet.
things.
I mean, imagine if we took an entire year to do that. By the way, hello. Yes. Good.
No, I was just going to say, but don't forget. I mean, like most of these are from task sets. I mean, he's got a few from quests and things, but a lot of those task sets, there are other good rewards on those that you're getting as well, like the Ardoin Elite task, which gives you unlimited teleports to the farming patch with the cape and things like that. The Karamja Elite tasks gives you the noted bones when you kill Dagonoth Kings. So there are some, while not all the rewards are great, there are still some useful things for getting those task sets done.
Sure. My restream chat just crashed. Sorry, 1 second. Let me put that back up. I was trying to ban somebody. Well, not ban, but mute somebody, and it caused all sorts of problems. I apologize.
I tried that. I tried it too, but it came up invalid request.
That's odd. I was able to take care of it though, so it's not a problem.
I tried to remove the post, and it came up invalid request.
So Modwolf also says check out what I posted under Thunderhawk's post. So I'll read Thunderhawk's post and then read this one, and then we can continue discussion or move on depending on what we want to do here. Thunderhawk says, I must say I was around when a lot of them task diaries were released and got them all done not too long after. Most of the stuff was pretty near useless, only rare exceptions. So he's saying even back in the day, most of them were useless. And you're talking to someone who still hasn't even completed half of these task sets out of laziness, so yeah. Anyway, a few on that list, as an example, would be wild dogs, at the time pretty useful. Those dogs were a huge irritant when it came to slaying Broad's dragons. Sorry, I just kind of skipped ahead, didn't I? Mon Wolf replies and says, a lot of things used to have niche cases where they were useful in certain scenarios. And he mentions again the wild dogs and the coal mine trucks, whatnot.
To go back to the coal mining trucks, for people who can't get down to the LRC, I mean, that was a pretty good one. And on my RRman, I use that one as well because, when it was hardcore RRman, I was sort of down there doing my mining. You'd get attacked by the bats, but, there was bats you could handle, whereas if you're trying to sort of mine down the living rock caverns, you could get hit pretty easily as a hardcore RRman. So, it does still... It's as you said, it is a niche case, but there is still some cases where they are still useful to a certain group of players.
There are a couple of good uses for, say, the Karamja gloves, like going through the shortcut as soon as you enter the cave, and you can go through to the red dragons, and then go through another shortcut straight after that, and you're basically at the Iron and Steel dragons and the Mithril dragons.
So many dragons.
Guy, the way he is talking, he sounds like he was probably pretty high level back when the task sets came out, and it's it's a common misconception to think, like, oh, this reward's not useful for me because I'm a high level player. Oh, it's crap. But it's like there are plenty of mid tier players who can still find a use for a lot of this stuff. And
that's another thing, is that you can't let I speak to players of my level, like, you can't let yourself get max blinded or cop blinded. There are tons of people who are not on your level and still use that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, which I mean I am guilty of as well, because I'm saying when like the last the card we had for Halloween, I said it wasn't that hard to do, but then sort of Harley did remind me a lot of those people didn't have the levels for me. Oh yeah, that's
that would make it a huge problem.
That's right.
Yeah, so, indeed.
Yeah, totally agree with that sentiment.
All right, any other final thoughts on that topic? Shall we move along? Yes. Pern, would you do me the graces of giving my voice a little break here and taking on Crewhawk's post, Make 99 Great Again?
Making 99 great again. Someone is a Donald Trump fan. Okay. I'm making a new thread so it has a chance to be seen and change our world. Please read this. Don't let it fall on deaf ears. Or blind eyes, I suppose, is a better metaphor. I had an epiphany while reading through all these comments on the smithing rework and thinking as to why I got so burnt out on RuneScape to start with. It was on this thought that I put this forward. You should make this T90 better than the artifact armor because level 99 should mean something. PVM can be great money, but moneymaker and all, but 99 should mean something. I mean, getting 99 is the most iconic thing about this game, is it not? I say to you that at level 99 smithing, you should indeed be able to make T90 gear that does not degrade to dust, breaks, and you must repair it because that's how smithing would work in real life, and has the stats to go toe-to-toe with other T90. Now, with the whole emphasis on 99 mattering, I'd say this armor shouldn't have the strength or prayer or life point boosts, but instead should just be raw, super defensive armor. So that's what smithing is all about. Smithing more and more defensive gear, we go from bronze to masterwork pieces that can withstand the beatings of these hordes of bosses we apparently love slaying. Make 99 matter again. Make it worth the grind. Make me get out of this burnt out funk of feeling like everything is a grind, useless clicking. And
you're right, this guy is a Donald Trump fan.
This guy just blew my mind. Apparently 99 mining is a thing in real life. Or 99 smithing, I mean. I had no idea. How do you get that? Someone please teach me.
I say to you, T90 should have a T90 ore in a sinister location. And hey, let's add the idea of combining all other ores to make these ingots. We shouldn't be arguing any longer about fair when it comes to PVM. 99 should trump all.
Exactly.
This is RuneScape. The game made 99 a thing. Sorry, I had to emphasize that.
First of all, I want to say that RuneScape did not make 99 a thing. I want to just put that up there first. Go ahead.
So you've got, furthermore, this really should be applied to all other skills, making 99 matter. I just chose to talk about smithing and mining because it's something that is in fact upcoming. I suppose I should make a post in the suggestions area, but I seriously doubt anyone gives a cabbage about this. And the Jagex team will not see this as it is known. They look more at Reddit, spelt with 1D. Still, though, I can't give up. I'll be honest, I don't play nearly as much as I do because of feeling like I'm just one of many, and weak 99 in your skills should set you above the rest without the skill. Also, why hold back our power? In those polls, did you not see how few people care about PvP? PvP is a huge reason why MMO games dull and nerf our power, and sure, also is due to monsters not being buff, but we are the heroes. We should be able to crush foes like babies in cribs. Wow.
Excuse me?
And bosses should be so tough, even with the best gear. If I have 99 strength, then I should be able to slap that smirk right off the boss's face. I know that most don't want it to be easy, but when you put that work in to be level 99, you really should feel like you have done something. You should feel like the bus hero you have grinded to be. I have more to these ramblings, but again, I'm very doubtful this will be heard by anyone.
I think I just found like next year's shirt as well. Crush foes like babies in cribs.
Yeah. So please let this awaken your expectations and give this some type of backing other than veteran player being burnt out.
Can I get a picture of General
Gradar?
Gradar? I need a picture photoshopped of General Gradar smashing the baby troll into pieces in his little baby troll crib, and then yelling that line. That we crush our foes like little babies in cribs. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He complains
Harley,
about the game being a grind now.
That post was a grind.
More of a grind in the time he's saying that the game should be like. And
Sorry,
second
99.
of all, 99s were originally never even meant to be obtainable. So if you want to talk about RuneScape's history,
and 99 in combat is the easiest thing you can do.
Back in RuneScape Classic, hitting 99 was like they didn't plan for that.
There was no 99 content.
Zenel's on it, making it Gradar.
Anyway, so there you go. That's apparently how you make the number 9. The significance to the number 99 comes from an analog day of gaming when you had a physical counter, and mainly for gaming, but it's just an analog thing in general that a clock as well. You can only have 10 digits in one place, 0 through 9. So 99 is the highest you could get. You know, and they just kind of...
I actually don't agree, Mage. The number 99's importance comes from a Jay-Z song.
Well, this is exactly how we know that your opinion no longer matters to me.
Yeah, Chase, are you serious?
Yep.
Unless they're doing it with Linkin Park, I don't want to hear it. Anyway.
Oh, wow, Linkin Park, man! I haven't released anything in years.
That was a
Wait, that talking about bad music, and so, but you try to bring up Linkin Park as good music.
Listen, when Jay-Z and Linkin Park get together, magic happens. That's all I'm saying.
Numb and Encore, that was beautiful.
Yeah, the Encore album was great. Separately, they're not amazing musical acts, in my opinion, but when you put them together, I think their sound works pretty great. Magebit, link to amazing ship. Oh, which you want? Which ship post?
I'm on it.
Okay,
DX is just did.
DX is taking care of it apparently. When he fails to do so, let me know.
There you go, Zenel.
Let's move along.
Live now.
Let's move along to our next post, shall we?
That was dark, man. That was really dark.
Is RuneScape fun anymore? Let's just stay on a very serious topic here. This is by Transcendent, who says, lately I have come to the realization I'm not having much fun playing RuneScape anymore, and a lot of the reason is too much content is grind with no profits, or boss fights that are way too hard for my enjoyment. I feel you, Transcendent. Also, it seems all of my time for it seems all I have time for anymore is the long list of daily chores which I don't enjoy doing, but I would miss out on things. I really hate that there are constant limited time events one after another with no let up. I'll stop there for a second. Go ahead.
Does he realize this is literally a game that you're supposed to have fun in and you can choose what
RuneScape? Excuse me, game? I believe you meant to say virtual lifestyle?
Okay.
I mean, I understand where they're coming from. When you only have, 24 hours in a day, and you can only dedicate about 15 of those to RuneScape, it's difficult to get all of your daily stuff done. I understand. But you have to pick and choose what's important to you at the time. Like you have to have a physical impulse limit on yourself. Otherwise, you are going to do them all, and you're going to be miserable about it. So just don't do the ones that make you miserable.
Exactly. You have this guy has some terrible self-control. Like,
yeah,
you are literally playing something to have fun as a pastime. Don't do the stuff that bores you. Like, Jesus, it's not that complicated.
Maybe he has OCD and he has to do every daily that's there.
Maybe
Also,
he does.
There are plenty of bosses that aren't hard that still make good money. Like, you can still make good money at God Wars 1.
Yeah, you can, and it's mostly AFK now. Don't worry, I told you to let me know when DX fails. There you go. I'll continue on here and read his post. The game was for me. The game was fun for me when I could do things I wanted to do. I want to think about this sentence for a second. The game was fun for me when I could do things I wanted to. Before RuneScape sent its cronies to my house, strapped me to a chair, and forced me to do my dailies every day. Held a gun to my head. You collect your sandstone today, mate?
I just see two Secret Service guys standing behind this guy with sunglasses and black suits, making sure that he gets everything done. You're
only hurting yourself here. All right, so the game was fun for me when I could do things I wanted to do instead of having to follow a list of chores. The arc is horrible. All grind, no profit. And to play it, you would have to grind an hour a day there every day. Not fun. You don't have to do it though. All right, I spent about 2 weeks in the arc, okay? I got all the requirements that I wanted to get, and I left. Do I still have stuff to do in the arc? Yes. There's stuff I didn't do in the arc, and I'll do it eventually when I feel like it,
Exactly.
That's what I'm gonna make. So I force myself to comp next year. I'm gonna literally make a calendar with every week is gonna have a specific thing I have to do.
At the moment on the arc, I'm trying to breed all the different berries, and I'm sitting there going, God, I have to wait 2 days, for them, because it takes 48 hours for them to sort of crossbreed. And I'm thinking, actually, that's not such a bad thing. I only have to visit there every 2 days.
I want someone to isolate that audio there. Pern likes to breed.
Pern's all about breeding.
I like that comment there by Elite on YouTube chat. I don't think I should read it. I reckon you should read it, mate.
You remember when Dragon was the best armor in the game? Let's take everything back to those days. Make Dragon great again. DX best PVMer. Most daily. Let me move back to the poster. Oh, you want to have something? You got something to say, Pern?
No, I was saying DX just wanted to read his name out as the best PVMer.
Yeah, pretty much. I gave it to him. Why not?
DX was wearing Mithril when Dragon was the best armor, so let's not get mixed up.
When Dragon was the best armor.
Rune at the time, I think.
He was wearing steel.
When was Dragon the best armor? Let's think of, because Dragon came out like in so many different pieces. Like,
well, yeah, I'm referring to when like Dragon Chain ruled the world.
Oh, so when like Calphite Queen came in. I think
exactly.
Which came first? Because I honestly don't remember. God of War's Dungeon 1 or Calphite Queen?
Calphite Queen. That was like 2005.
Okay, so Calphite Queen came first. I just can't remember. Like chronologically, my brain can't put these things into order. Okay, so D-Chain. I had a D-Chain, but I don't remember when I had it. But I do remember having a D-Chain. Anyway, let me get back to the main post here. I'm mainly just trying to figure out, was I a scrub like DX or not, but I can't do it. It's too hard. All right, most dailies you get a treasure hunter key and XP, but I really would rather do something else and choose what I want to do more instead of feeling like I have to do this or miss key. There's literally only like 2 things you can do every day to get treasure hunter. You do, how many dailies do you get each day? Like
one a day.
One a day, right?
And it can stack up to 5. You can get up
Sure.
to 5 dailies.
So if you're doing your dailies every day, it's only 1, and most dailies only take I don't understand this person's problem. Player-owned ports I like, but again, it has become a daily grind, checking and sending out ships, doing other random events, and making some profit. Selling the things that...
Takes, I mean, once you get high enough in player-owned ports, you're only sending them out once a day, which takes 4 minutes anyway.
I suck at player-owned ports, and I still manage to send out, 2 or 3 voyages a day.
Even so, you literally don't have to send them out if
you don't have to.
Don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, you could do it once a month if you wanted to, or you could do it once a year.
He says about quests. Quests have become nothing but boss fights, and I have stopped doing them because of this. I miss when quests were fun and lighthearted and didn't have killer bosses requiring max gear and click and run tactics, which I hate. I miss the old safe spot bosses you could sit back and relax to kill. It's like, why don't you go down to the gym and sit back and relax and kill and fight each other? No, that's not what combat's about. Combat's not about chilling. People don't say mixed martial arts and chill. It's not what that's about. I mean, safe spotting was a thing, but I think by design, safe spotting was an exploit more than anything else. Yeah. Back in the day, or back in RuneScape, old school RuneScape and classic, safe spotting was just a limitation of the pathfinding system, and still I think remains today to some effect. But I don't think safe spotting is intentional when you see them purposefully adding like falling rock mechanics to bosses where people are safe spotting. They had to do that. Yeah.
When they did the update for the Dagonoth Kings, they did actually leave the safe spot there. They said this is, the safe spot is still there for people to use.
Well, I think they do it. They leave it in old bosses, but I think that's just because the community is so used to it. But
yeah, I don't think
any new boss they're not
should probably not. Yeah. And the microtransactions are also non-stop, he says. I can mostly ignore them, but they are slowly seeming to replace regular content as the main game, which I do not like where things are going. There is rarely an update that is not centered around microtransactions anymore, and soon there will be no regular content at all and only microtransactions if this keeps up. Players often say lately that microtransaction content is better than the regular content and open their wallets, which ensures Jagex will make more money.
I mean, I half agree with that, but only half.
I half agree with that as well.
I don't think the stats on MTX weapons are different than the actual real ones.
Are you talking lucky items?
Yeah.
Yeah, lucky items.
items, MTX.
Yeah, I mean, like lucky items are the same as their normal counterparts. Yeah.
I think what the poster's talking about though is just the design of stuff from MTX can be way better.
Yeah,
which I do agree with.
The actual physical, like the graphics put into it, the animation put into it, always tends to look better.
Because they want you to spend.
Yeah, because they want you to buy it, of course.
You've already got your membership money, so now we want that little bit extra. So we'll make this look sexier for you to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, give me 360 rune coins, and we'll give you the old home teleport animation.
Transcendent continues to say, and what is with the monsters in God Wars Dungeon 2 not dropping anything other than the bosses? Just because... Didn't they change that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I just like they drop anything other than the bosses. They drop the boss.
Yeah,
The monsters drop the bosses.
That's how you fight the boss. You kill the monsters, they draw the boss, and then you fight the boss. And then you pay rune coins to the boss to get your reward via treasure hunter.
I will also never understand
one hell of a
complain
sentence.
to the point where they added that stuff, because I loved that fact that in God Wars 2 nothing dropped except for the ingression fragments or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I was fine with that as well.
I hate leaving loot on the ground.
Me too.
It's my soul.
Me too. I was, I like just being able to go there and just kind of plow through my kill count requirement, not have to worry about drops, and then go to why I'm there in the first place, which is to fight a boss.
I am so glad I'm not the only one who feels that way.
Yeah, no, I think there's probably a silent majority that feels that way.
I even pick up all my mithril and just even though I don't need it for invention, I still just break it down because I don't want to leave it sitting
it's
on
a
the
waste.
ground.
Yeah, I completely understand. Yeah, it's a huge waste.
Leaving stuff on the ground hurts. It just
does.
It does hurt. It's money that you're literally like. Would you, if you saw $1 on the ground, would you go and pick it up, or would you just walk on by it? You'd pick it up. It's the same thing. It's like, that has a value, and you're leaving it on the ground, even though it may not be a large value. But in my opinion, you're never rich enough to not need more money.
You know what they did?
Well, yeah,
something
but if
like
you
that
saw
in
a
Australia.
penny on the ground, are you gonna pick it up? I mean, that's...
Yeah, I was gonna say something like that, Harley. In Australia, there was a thing on the news where people were deliberately dropping 5-cent pieces and seeing if people would pick it up, and hardly anybody picked it up because it's not worth, it's not worth anything anymore.
Coins in general, I think, should be removed. This is a whole another discussion unrelated to anything, but I think coins are stupid. I think physical money is stupid. So
I totally agree on coins. I mean, I think physical money still definitely has a place.
It has a place for sure. I just don't like it. That's all. Personal preference.
Screw that. The coins are what buys my coffee. The leftover coins. There's $1.50. I can go buy a coffee.
Yeah,
now.
but there's apps for that. Like there's an app that, or like certain banks would be like, oh, if something's $5, and 80 cents, they round up to $6 and put the 20 cents in a savings account.
Yeah, but the thing is, if I do that, it's like when it's just it's only coins. I can grab that and buy a coffee. You don't feel guilty. But when you're sort of breaking a note or you're handing over your card, that's coming out of my bank account. Coins are just thrown in there.
I have a problem with debit cards, and and I feel like they're magic wands to me. I don't think about the money behind it.
Yeah.
Probably why I like them. Anyway, let me continue on here with Transcendent's post. Just because some players don't pick up drops, Jagex thinks no one wants to pick up drops anymore and just will buy bonds for GP? That's a ridiculous sentence.
What the hell?
That is come on.
That's why I totally agree with that. Actually, that's why they removed all drops from bosses.
Because now you just buy bonds for money. But who's gonna? The problem with that is, but the bonds aren't worth anything if nobody picks anything up, because then there's no cash value for anything. So where's the money coming from? It doesn't make any sense. CBG Gray has a great video on coins that explains why they are useless now, and some countries are going coinless. Yeah, some countries are going coinless. I think all countries will be coinless by or all major countries, either first world countries. I think will probably be mostly coinless by 2030. I wouldn't be surprised.
The USA will keep them because we keep everything. We have a crappy measurement. We have the Fahrenheit. We have inches.
We'll be the country that keeps our currency. Yeah, more than likely.
Yep, exactly.
I was just say our country will go coinless soon. The way our governments are spending the money, they won't have any.
We got no coins to give out. Anyway, how are players who buy bonds with GP supposed to earn any GP if monsters don't drop anything? Too much content is where we're earning GP. It's not just hard, but impossible.
No monsters drop anything? Totally.
How are players who buy bonds with GP supposed to earn any GP if monsters don't drop anything? I know, because that's just the argument that I just brought up. He's literally arguing with himself at this point because his previous sentence is contingent upon things not dropping anything.
He's literally taking...
Yeah.
He's taking one dungeon and saying that means no monsters drop
in the whole game.
just
Yeah,
God Wars Dungeon 2 monsters didn't, which is
which isn't even true anymore. This post was made literally yesterday, by the way. He had the chance to do the research. Okay, this is not like this post is from a couple of months ago or something. You could have checked to make sure the information you were arguing was valid. Go ahead.
That anger has just been stewing in his head for 6 months. He's just been stewing that anger for like 6 months now.
And it finally just exploded.
You don't drop anything. Exactly.
I thought the God Wars Dungeon 2 was brilliant to me because the purpose of it was get your kill count up, go down there, get your tokens. You could just fly through, go and get a task, fly through, hand those in to get the rewards from the things, and then get in there and kill those boss monsters. That just anyway.
It's not even like the drops they added are even worth picking up. Like there's not even a monster down there that makes money.
They're a waste of time. I still pick them up, but they're a waste of my time.
Neem droops? Can I have neem droops? Anyone? Can we maybe possibly remove those from the game?
Yes, please, or at least make legendary pets. Freaking ignore them.
Stop picking them up. Yes.
Oh God.
Thank you very much to Zenel in the Discord. Has actually just posted a General Grador crushing a baby in Grim kind of thing.
Oh God. Let me hang on,
live.
Let me open this link here. I'll bring it on screen for those of you who are watching.
Oh my God.
Who are watching live. Hang on.
I'm in the general chat. That's why I can't see anything that you guys are talking about.
Yeah, well, stop being in the general chat.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
We should be able to crush foes like babies in Korea. And it would be great if we had a quote of the name of the person right under it, just so for context. I think that would be great. I love it, though. I love it.
You just think Grador is saying it, and I just imagine that guy in Grador's voice.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This is great. It's great. I love it.
It's like a metal poster that like some teenager would hang on his wall.
It really is. It's almost or a print T-shirt that they would wear to a band concert, or they'd get like kicked out of, sent home from school. They have to change because they wore this shirt. Anyway, good stuff.
I got kicked out of church for wearing a Black Sabbath T-shirt to it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been kicked out of anywhere for my attire. I've been kicked out of plenty of places in my life.
You get kicked out of where, Pern?
Church.
Oh. Well, that was only.
Was that your intention? If can I ask? Was that your?
Well, it was when my mother was remarrying that we had to go to church and things, and I was heavily into my heavy metal back then, and all my T-shirts were, heavy metal T-shirts. I mean, he's lucky I didn't have the one. Yeah, there's a few that were very inappropriate. This was just Black Sabbath with the burning cross on the front.
Oh, okay. I can't imagine why.
And the priest asked me to leave.
I don't think I've ever.
I was 14
I
at
can
the
kick
time.
people out of like if I
was 14
I think I could just kick people out if they brought in a Bible, because like I find that more offensive than a Black Sabbath T-shirt.
I mean, if it's your private establishment, sure, why not, right? You can do whatever you want, I guess.
I get boycotted, and I don't think that church got boycotted for kicking somebody out with a Black Sabbath shirt.
Probably not, yeah. Oh, by the way, Colton, I wanted to bring up. Colton sent me a DM on Twitter about yesterday, or last show, where we were trying to put together the lore about the Dragon King. Basically, when we were talking about the Stone of Jazz. And what would happen if I had the Stone of Jazz? And I couldn't get the lore right. And DX gave it a tried his hardest, and I think he did better than I did, but I don't know if that's saying anything. So we're gonna let Colton take over here for a second. Colton says, just quickly point out where DX erred with regards to the Magerat lore in today's show, and that was Wednesday's show. Neither the Magerat nor the Dragonkin draw their power from the stone. The Magerat have their power because they were created by the way of Ma. Their power drains gradually, and they need to occasionally use rejuvenation through the sacrifice of one of their own, transferring the energy to the remainder using the ritual marker. The Dragonkin are the one race left from the previous Great Revision, wherein the Elder Gods destroyed all their previous planets but one and started anew. Jas basically enslaved them and bound them as guardians of the stone. So, in an indirect manner, the sort of do get some power from the stone only because they are empowered the more the stone is used by a false user. Hope that clears up some stuff. So thank you, Colton. Yes, that makes sense.
So judging from that, I'd say when the Children of Ma quest comes out, I say Ma is dying.
Ma is definitely...
That'll explain why the life force is draining quicker.
Yeah, Ma's not doing very well. We know that for sure from Fate of the Gods, right?
Well, Ma was never doing well.
Yeah.
Ma was born sort of...
a little messed up in the head.
Yes.
Yep.
So Ma's always been kind of like a corrupt god. Not corrupt in the sense of evil, just she was someone corrupted her hard drives. Yeah. So she's just kind of messed up. So yeah, Ma is just kind of a corrupted force, if you will, in the Elder God worlds, from what I understand. I apologize if I'm butchering that. I'm a lore baby. I'm still learning. Hello, Incognito. Welcome.
You know what we should do? We should try and get Mod Osborne on the show. He's the lore king.
Yeah, I would love to get... I love having lore people on the show. If we could get a lore person on the show for Monday, that would be fantastic. But I don't know if we're going to be able to pull that off or not. But yeah, we will be live streaming, by the way, as soon as I wake up in the quest, or whichever comes first, either when I wake up or when the quest comes out. Because I've been...
Or when you have your breakfast, so you're coordinated.
If the quest is out by 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's when we'll be live. If it's later than that, we'll start when it starts. What's up?
I was going to try to do the quest for Monday. I have to do like 50 quests to get to it. It's ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Well, you could do a 50 quests live stream marathon. I'd watch that. I'd be there right there with you.
So much time. I literally have to do about... I have 98 quests left, and I have to do about half of them to do Children of Ma. So
how many of those quests do you think is feasibly possible to do in a day? I think the most I've ever done in a day of questing-wise was probably about 3 quests, only because I wanted to kill myself.
I mean, I think you can only do like 10 because a lot of them are over an hour.
Yeah.
So like, time adds up quick. What it's making me want to do is, I think I gotta go for my quest cape soon. It's kind of what just has to happen. After this month is up and I pay off all my RuneScape debts, it might be time to quest cape it up.
Quest cape, yeah, I would love to quest cape with you. I think I might beat you though.
I love my quest cape. Was my first.
In 15 years, I've never had the quest cape. I've never worn it. It's never been on my character, so it's gonna be kind of special when I can wear one. I literally have just one quest.
And my fondest memory of the quest cape was when I defeated Nomad in Nomad's Requiem, just to actually earn the right to wear it.
Yeah,
so that was my.
That's all you need is the right to wear it. Yeah, I've literally never had the right to wear it. I've come close, and I literally have one quest to do. It's funny, like I'm worried about comp cape, and I haven't even have quest cape yet. But yeah, I just have been putting off Do No Evil. I've been putting it off mainly because I think it's a psychological thing. But I don't know. Anyway, it's taking you ages to do No Evil. It's not taking me ages to do No Evil. I just literally haven't done it. You know, I haven't given it a try, which is my own fault. Really, I'll get to it. I swear. I just don't know when. I want to.
When enough time for Harambe has passed.
Yeah, right.
When I may as well get to it like about 6 months after I get my quest cape.
It's possible. It's certainly possible.
The most difficult part I had with that Do No Evil quest was luring the monkey guard all the way over, all the way around the parts of the bananas.
Spoilers. I haven't done the quest
give me a break,
yet.
Man. Do No Evil has been out for years now, so.
Here's a rune poll. Who will be siding? Who will you be siding with on Children of Ma? Posted by DX. Thank you, DX. So right now, 40% is neither. Most people, or the majority of people are neither. What?
That went up.
I know, right? Team Zaros comes in at 33% and Team Zamorak at 27%. It's actually almost a fair three-way split.
That's come up. I mean, Zamorak's come up there too.
Allow me to also say that this only currently has like 40 people voting it, so I'm going to retweet this. Who will you follow?
Seems like the vote changes when you vote.
Is that the one on the front page?
It's the one on their Twitter, and it's slowly adjusting. It's up to 91 votes now.
Okay, because they have the same thing on their front page. That's one we read out last time on the show. The quick poll. And if we read that one...
Rogan says it's not as bad as he's heard. That's good to know.
Yeah. The actual on their front page, they've got it's 57% to Zaros, 24% to neither, and 19% to Zamorak.
Interesting. I'm more curious in the live poll. Anyway, I still think overall
this is a live poll.
This quest could not as live as this poll. I know. I literally said that just to try and change the subject. I was hoping you wouldn't. I was hoping you wouldn't question me. What'd you say, Harley?
I still think someone's gonna die in this quest. Like someone, I know, of course, someone's gonna die because of the Magebucks, but I mean,
well, they also said, like someone's definitely gonna die next month. Like the end of Sasuke's endgame. It might be
Zamorak's gonna die.
It might be Zamorak. That would imagine that. Yeah. Then it'd only be one of the original gods left.
And he'll die next time.
Yeah, right. I mean,
I think Zamorak dies in this quest, and then Saradomin dies in Salisbury.
I mean, we brought the gods into the world. We have to get them out. We have to get them out somehow, right? So.
Yeah, and then right as we kill them all, the elder gods show up, and we're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, like, maybe we shouldn't have killed all those regular gods.
Hang on, we haven't killed Brassica Prime yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
Brassica Prime lives forever.
Unfortunately,
Brassica Prime would be so. That's all you got to do, right? You feed Brassica Prime to an elder god. Once Brassica Prime has been absorbed by the elder god, Brassica uses her powers to assume control of the elder god. Bam! You have a mind-controlled elder god on your side. You're good to go. Jagex, hire me. Quest ideas. I've got them right here.
You know what? If the Gower brothers ever move to bloody Lightseek or whatever the bloody game is, then Brassica Prime would be the next god to die.
Brassica Prime would be a great, repeatable boss fight. I would love, like, a Brassica Prime avatar fight. Anyway, I'm gonna get this rune poll off the screen here. We're gonna continue along because we gotta keep track of time here. I got 45 minutes left to go before I have to start getting ready for my optical appointment. I am very excited to be able to see again. Reading is a challenge for Monday. If I can have my glasses before Monday's quest, that would be fantastic. Just purely because, holy crap, I have a horrible time reading those text boxes. So having fresh glasses with brand new prescription would be delicious. Anyway, let's move along here.
Before you do,
yes,
Transcendent has a further post down the bottom.
Okay.
It is important to cater to different types of players and not think everyone just fits into one mold. For too long, Jagex have catered to boss fighters and players interested in XP gains to the exclusion of almost everyone else. I wonder how many players would say they find boss fighting their thing or who are happy with faster XP gains at the cost of no GP gain. I personally have no interest in boss fighting at all, hate risk and have little interest in XP gains, and definitely pick up all drops if I do kill something because I need GP. But given a choice, I would prefer never to kill anything most of the time and make GP through skilling. Okay. As it is, I end up making a large portion of my GP through buying and selling items through the GE simply because I don't boss fight and skilling isn't profitable enough to afford bonds alone unless I spend a lot more time money making than I do. I honestly don't enjoy money making, but I do it more out of necessity than enjoyment. I'd much rather be doing other things with my time I might find more enjoyable. What that is at the moment, I don't know anymore.
I think Transcended needs to seek psychiatric help. I'm concerned that life has just got them down. I think they're suffering from some nostalgia, depression. It sounds like.
Yeah. Lately, I think of RuneScape as an unpleasant grind instead of fun, and I was wondering if it is just me or if others feel as burnt out on grindy,
Destiny or something.
Time events too. I was working on the Nihil set, but now I have missed some days, and I know I won't be able to complete it, and I don't want to throw bonds at it when I find money making a chore, and I'm not sure if I would even use the outfit. It seems a shame to have spent so many days working toward it and miss out, though, because I didn't finish maxing out the boring grind for a few days. It's frustrating having grindy events one after another with no let up when they are really not fun content. But if you don't, you miss out on the rewards. But they're just cosmetic rewards, so you're not really missing out on that much anyway.
It's also not a grindy event, and you could literally miss 4 days.
Yeah, I already have. I've literally missed 4 days, and I still can complete the event as long as it's going on tomorrow.
You don't. This is totally not a grindy event because you can do it whatever you're doing. I was even getting them when I was fighting my Mimic boss earlier. I was getting them then. I'm doing thieving. I got them all. I do whatever. Anything you're doing, you're getting these these flame fragments for anyway. So no matter what you're doing in game, you are earning those fragments, unless you are GE or bank standing and merchanting, which sounds like what they're doing.
Yeah, there's 3 days left on the event. With extenders, I mean, I know extenders cost rune coins, but you can.
No. Extenders cost loyalty points, I believe.
Yeah, I'm looking at the shop right now. It says 60 rune coins. If you can do loyalty points as well, that would be fantastic.
I thought it.
No, you can only do rune coins.
Yeah. If this event did loyalty points, I would give it an A++. Like that would be fantastic. Loyalty points should be more of an option. They should be an excessive difference, like where it's 60 rune coins, it should be like 10,000 loyalty points. But it should be an option for those of us, and I'm not one of these people, but those people who have every freaking ore they want and have tons of loyalty points that are just, piling up. They should absolutely, be able to spend them on something. But that's a whole nother argument. And we've been down that path before, and Jagex has no plans on doing it. They've talked about that, so I've pretty much given up on that option. But anyway, should we move along here? That's the real question.
Vosdeef.
Yes, Vosdeef says summoning and activities. And it opens just saying why. Just why? Every activity that has been released won't let you use summoning. Why? So this event, the Mimic, you can't go in there and fight with your summoned familiar? Why do you keep doing this, Jagex? Summoning is part of combat and you keep pushing it away. Let us use summoning in fighting areas such as 1v1 areas for PvP fight caves. Summoning is a skill, which is a character's ability, in which case you use to do damage to enemies faster, but you won't let us use it. Fix this, please. So, I feel like anywhere that combat takes place, you should be able to have a combat familiar.
Yep.
I mean, it's part of your combat. If you
I read that guy's name wrong. Anyway,
if you go into combat, right, in the wilderness without a familiar, it reduces your combat level. So why is it not accessible in combat activities? That seems a little silly to me, but I don't know.
I think it's the challenge better. I think it's the challenge.
I think it is. I think that's
make the boss harder.
Yeah, I think it's to make the boss harder, but
no, but make the boss harder. If you go with the pen, make it. Yeah, just have scale it so it goes up a bit. Yeah,
maybe. It's possible. Any other thoughts on this?
Every boss you design these days should have in mind that you're probably gonna have a Steel Titan or some other kind of combat familiar with you. Like,
yeah.
And if not, you're gonna have a bunch of food like that. That it should. I hate that any place that a familiar is limited in the game. It really honestly frustrates me.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Yep, agreed.
Speaking of, Ice Strykewyrms, DT need love, says Shade1987. This may or may not have been brought up before, but since I've not seen a thread on it, I'll make one, frankly, because it needs to be brought to Jagex's attention. Killing Ice Strykewyrms for the first time in a good while, as I got a 130 task for them, and at the end of the task, I made almost 600k in drops, including coins and Alex, and by Alex, I mean rare drop table, rune plate bodies, and so far, the rest of the rare drop table drops I got during the last task, I only got another 100k to add to that, which I'm not holding rare drop table accountable. That's just typical luck of the rare drop table for a monster that has a very common access to it. However, for a level 93 Slayer creature who also got their HP more than doubled from an update a few months ago and can only be fought on task, there is no excuse for the Ice Strykewyrm to be this bad. It may have been decent on release, and now that I think of it, it was okay pre-OC several years later, and it went from being like 1.5 to 2 million, assuming in an hour, give or take, to barely over 700k with rare drop table drops included, not including the very rare Staff of Light. That's pathetic. Now, having been on this game for 14 years, I know the reason for having junk drops, but who at Jagex's balancing team thought it would be a good idea to flood their drop table with a bunch of crappy seeds and noted herbs? Maybe I got super lucky on this task, but holy crap, the amount of sharks, Hirelanders, Guams, Myth Battle Axes, holy crap, the lack of commas, if I might say. Myth Battle Axes, parentheses. What?
And not one full stop?
Not one full stop, you're right. I've been kind of generous with that here, because I wanted to hear his argument, but there's not a single period anywhere here at all. No punctuation whatsoever. Just literal flowing, like, he put paragraphs at least, thank God. Anyway, with that being said, Jagex, it's obviously time to overhaul their drop table. I say the nests, super defense, potes, quorum seeds, rune bars, etc. are all decent drops, so no need to remove those, but obviously the crappy seeds need to go. I mean, sharks already drop a whole lot, so they're already one of the main junk drops to balance out the drop table, so there's no need for all those useless seeds like poison ivy, guam, etc. So why not replace the myth battle axe with the rune version? It already drops uncommonly as is anyway. That's how I feel about that.
That continues on.
Oh God, help me! Does it really? I mean, I'm not going to act like I know how to balance monster drops or write forum posts, but seriously, I may have added something in there, but seriously, something needs to be done here. Jagex, I see you fixing all these other monster drop tables, and the only thing I've seen done to Ice Strykewyrms was the HP buff, the sound effect change, which is badass, and the ability to stomp mounds from a distance when using ranged magic abilities, but this was all for Strykewyrms to be fair. Holy shit. I can't be the one who thinks these level 93 Slayer requirements and can only be fought on task. Guys deserve to be worth more. Oh, can we make that a t-shirt? Guys deserve to be worth more. To fight, then, just 600k, a task Elite Slayer oh my God, it's like a fever dream trying to read this. Seriously. Guys deserve to be worth more. To fight, then, just 600k, a task Elite Slayer tasks make more. It sounds like one of those websites when you type in, like goggle.com instead of Google, and it's just, like, random text that, like, just for search engine optimization. Like, it just doesn't even sound like a sentence. And, I'll try. 600k task, Elite Slayer tasks make more than that, and you only fight a max of 50 of those, and you can fight them unlimited times. You don't just have to be on task to fight them Strykewyrms, you do, with exception of wildy worms, of course.
Okay.
God help me.
I mean, I've got a white worm. I pretty much do it every 3 days for the bird nest.
All right, here's what I heard. You cut out on my end. I heard, I got a white worm. I do it every 3 days. So try again if you might.
I've got the white worm mask, and
okay.
I go and get my task every 3 days because they're fantastic for bird's nest drops. And if you have toad flax, you can make Saradome brews and make a fortune out of it.
Yep. I agree with Cyberkai. I hope that one day they remove all seed drops, all herb drops too. But I don't know if he's on board with that.
No.
Yeah.
Leave the seed drops. Them all. Take off the herb drops.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make them actually farm.
Yes, that's right. So I think seeds should come from monsters, but the actual herbs themselves, should be grown. But that's it. I mean, 600k is pretty good. They're not. I mean, they're still not as hard as they were pre-AOC. I mean, because I've got the mask and I've got them as a preferred task, I get about 200 odd every task that I get of them, and it's 45 minutes. So, I mean, yes, I am maxed, but still, they're not a hard task to do. I mean, that was fantastic before they did the nerf because it was like 20 minutes. So you kill 220 minutes, you'd make a fortune with your nests and all that type of stuff. But and again, this is another thing of where the entitled PVMers. If I'm not making 1.5 million an hour, it's not worth my time. But we're lucky to make sort of 100k an hour if we're doing mining or whatever.
Sure, fair enough.
But I found that one funny that they're trying to balance these monsters a bit more again, and we're getting the win.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more posts like this when they quote unquote make the monsters better. When they make them more combat oriented.
Maybe if they hadn't made drop tables rely on items that can fluctuate and crash because they're on every drop table ever, this wouldn't be a problem.
Thank you. I couldn't actually ban him then.
I couldn't ban him either. That's
I'll have to look into that. That's weird. I don't know why.
I think Mage has God mode enabled.
I might have beat you to it.
No, I beat you to it, but I couldn't do it.
Come up as invalid request, and then I tried it again, and then you jumped in. So anyway,
all right, we'll have to figure that out because you both are modded. So I'd be curious to know if Zenel's having trouble as well.
So rest in pepperoni there, Nitten Rolf.
Yeah, I gave you one timeout, but if you don't learn after one timeout that you can't advertise, then that's your own problem. I will eventually be making Nightbot make a exclamation point rules, so we can do that, and I think anyone should be able to do that. I don't even know if Nightbot's paying attention at the moment. I'm not sure. Okay, Nightbot is paying attention. Good to know. Anyway,
Nightbot is a scourge on the earth.
you don't like Nightbot. Well, Nightbot, did somebody kick Nightbot out of Discord chat? Because Nightbot is gone from Discord chat, and I've been trying to configure it.
I'm looking at you, Harley.
Not that I know of. No, if I was going to kick Nightbot, I would have done it the night that Nightbot removed my links. But I just taunted Nightbot instead.
It's all good. I'll fix Nightbot later. Sorry I didn't look at the chat list and was looking into some jQuery stuff. What went down? Oh, no, it's okay. So we just banned someone for advertising. I muted them for 300 seconds first just to see if they wanted to, shape up. But
and they come back and did it straight away again.
It's probably a bot, to be honest with you. It's probably not even a real person. So, I just try to be nice and give the benefit of the doubt and always mute first and then ban, just in case.
Mute first and ask questions later.
Well, yeah, instead of just shooting them in the head, just shoot them in the knee. Anyway, next up, we have another post, because we have 30 minutes left, so we might as well plow through these if we can. Otherwise, whatever we don't, we'll make it on Sunday's Elite Show, but, let's try to complete everything.
LOL Elite.
Oh, was that DX getting jealous Nightbot is better than him at PSAs?
That's right, yes, when you lied about where the circus was.
That's Runecord bot, not Nightbot.
Yeah, that's Runecord. Runecord also is a great bot that we have that doesn't handle moderation, but will tell you things like Viswax, Circus, stuff like that.
The correct place for the circus, unlike sort of our DX bot.
It gives you reliable information, is what we're trying to say.
I still think we need to petition and rename that bot to DX 2.0, but
if that would be really funny. If we run our own private version of Runecord, which is totally possible, I'm assuming we could name it whatever we want if I did that.
You can name whatever you want now, because as a server admin, you can give anybody a nickname. Yeah.
So I can just right-click
Unless
on them?
nicknames are turned off. I guess
change nickname. Does that change it for everyone? Nicknames are visible to everyone in the server. Do not change them unless you are enforcing a name. Okay. Do we just want it to be DX 2.0?
Got you on this mage.
Yep.
Alex got you on this mage. It's not bots mage. It's automatic players.
Fair enough.
Okay, it's 3:30 here. I am going to have to take off and get everyone up. So thank you for joining us all. I will see you all next week, hopefully.
Indeed. Take care.
See ya.
Drops the mic and walks away.
There we go. We've renamed Runecord to DX 2.0. Let's check when Warbands is. Oops. Just accidentally opened up paint.net. Fantastic. Warbands. There we go. DX 2.0. I'll continue. We'll slowly continue on that. That account has 19 subscribers and purely uploads sports videos primarily. Yeah, I clicked on it by accident as well.
Well, the good thing is he's got wrestling, so
I guess. Anyway, let's continue on here. We have more posts to go, and one less co-host, so maybe make things go faster. Can we have communication at Bounty Hunter? Asks 3 Arrow Kill. They say, hi. There's been a few issues with Bounty Hunter, as I'm sure you're all aware. The unfarmable status mentioned in a BTS has been proven untrue, and there have been issues with people abusing mechanics. I understand as a game developer, of course, he owns a free copy of Unity, so he's a game developer, of course. That content can't always be perfect. Bugs, issues, abuse by players are issues that often arise. I just wish we could have some communication from Jagex about how they plan to address these issues. Tier 87 weapons crashed soon after release, with people able to get them in 2 hours or less. The content, thanks to the above issues and multi-wild, people camping with friends and multi to avoid one-on-one target fights, has rendered this content dead on arrival. I was looking forward to PvP becoming accessible again, and thought this update would really benefit the PvP community, but this hasn't been the case. Can we please get some feedback? So, we've kind of touched on it early in the show. I figured we'd split up some of the PvP talk, though. Go ahead.
Also, Jagex has given a ton of feedback on Bounty Hunter.
Here's the problem.
Actually paying attention.
Here's the problem. I think this is the problem. Is 3 Arrow Kill is looking for answers on the RuneScape official forums, where he needs to be looking on Reddit, because all of the actual answers by JMods are on Reddit, not the RuneScape official forums, which is the sad truth.
In Jagex's defense, Bounty Hunter's only been out for a week. I mean, give it time so we can really judge
Exactly.
But also, sorry, I am back.
Liar.
That was quick.
Apparently, they're not getting up until 4 o'clock now.
Cool, just in time for the show to end. Well, you're making it right through to the end.
I mean, yeah, Jagex have delayed this 3 times as well to get it right, and straight away it sort of has been broken. But it would be nice if they did sort of have, when they release a big thing like this, that they do post their answers that are on Reddit into the forum somewhere, in the combat, into the general, just have a log post where they say, we understand these are the problems, we are looking at this is some of the concerns that are coming up, and just sort of on their own forums, post some of those.
I do agree. I think part of the problem is there hasn't been like an actual official post from them. It's just been replies to people that have said stuff. And so like, how do you curate that? Because every time they do an official post, it gets posted on both. I think the other place that they have talked about it, which is officially theirs, is on their Twitch channel, So if you watch the Q&A, they spent the first 10 minutes.
Keep in mind, only about maybe 1,500 people watched that Q&A.
Well, at least live. I don't know if those get views over time or anything.
They do. They probably get another like 5,000 views over the course of their lifetime, I would guess, from looking at their YouTube channel. But it doesn't reflect enough of the community. How do you remedy this? If I was Jagex, I would post links everywhere. Like I would be posting everything you post on Reddit should at some point be either posted on the forums or posted on the main website. Something. I mean, I'm talking major things like that when these types of things happen. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they do though? Beyond replies, I'm pretty sure everything does get posted to the forums, as far as from what I've seen at least. And I think the main issue here, I would say, is the fact that they should have made an official post about Bounty Hunter and put it on both. And said that we know this is an issue and we're working on it.
So they always put the update, right? Like the main update they'll put for so this week's update was Bounty Hunter and skill outfit. So they lump everything in one, and then you can just reply to it if you want. I think maybe mods respond here, but there should be another sticky thread that says Bounty Hunter known issues and suggestions, so people can talk about it. But
yeah, they just haven't made that post on either forum.
No, they don't. They kind of just the players end up kind of creating it themselves.
They've sometimes they will, but
sometimes
they
will.
Have kind of not wanted to admit. I mean, they've admitted Bounty Hunter problems with that. I guess they don't want to draw full attention to it the way it seems.
Don't blame them.
In some ways.
I mean, I don't blame them. It's a mess, and oh god, I can't even imagine how disheartening it must have been to spend so many hours on a project to make it right, bulletproof, and enjoyable, and then immediately watch it be torn apart by people. That's got to be hard.
This has been a sad year of that, because I mean, we had the same issue with Invention when it first came out. We've had a lot of things that have come out and have been really effed up this year.
Yeah, definitely. So 3 Arrow Kill has another post as well called Bounty Hunter Feedback. So in relation to their other post here, it's kind of linked. So it says, people camping in multi with 6 friends means you sacrifice a kill streak if you're a solo PKer. Bounty Hunter Worlds should be, and again, I'll just comment and say there, yes, they know that. They're fixing that with emblems. They're going to make it more rewarding for lower level emblems. Yeah.
It's also the point of multi.
Yeah. Maybe you should not be in multi-way as a solo PKer. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
You're rolling up in the wrong neighborhood with the wrong colors on?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Wolf of GE says...
If you want to go into multi and you don't have a team, you are risking quite a bit.
Yeah.
But he addresses that in that next that next line. Read that.
I'll get there. I mean, Wolf of GE says, to be fair, they should have known it was going to happen. All they had to do was look at 07 Bounty Hunter. Yeah, I mean, there was problems with Old School's Bounty Hunter as well, from my understanding. Didn't play it, so can't elaborate, but I remember people freaking out on Twitter. Let's see. As a suggestion, skull everybody or nobody can be annoying.
No.
I'm sorry. Did I go? Sorry. I thought I might have gone ahead of what you were looking for.
No. The bounty hunter world should be single way combat everywhere, in my opinion. If you have a target and he's at the Chaos Alley with 6 friends, you're guaranteed not to get the kill. In fact, it makes more sense to leave and not even try to engage them.
Interesting.
So what's happening is you get assigned a target, but if that person's got a bunch of friends on there, they'll stand up in multi-ways. So to get your target, you have to go and face him.
Yeah.
So when you're saying
the minigame.
But when you're saying, just stay in the single way combat area, well, if you're getting a target who has got a bunch of clanmates up there, I mean, you've got no hope. So what's the point in playing? It's broken. Get out of there and don't do it. Go and do something else.
Not every target is going to be that way. So you're going to.
It's like Overwatch. Sometimes you get really shitty teammates. Sometimes you get amazing ones.
But that's the problem. That's what they're saying. A lot of these, in there, there's maybe 7 or 8 people who are doing it single, and all the rest are doing it in clans.
I mean, I haven't tested it, but I doubt.
That's the people I've spoken to. That's what they're saying. Every target they're getting is they're sitting up there and they've got 6 or 7 mates with them, and that's what's happening.
That's annoying. I could see why that would be annoying. It's like if every freaking target you get is somebody with their friends camped out waiting, that would be very frustrating. Like, I understand on the surface, these are problems that will be, I assume, smoothed out over time.
I mean, you may be right then. I mean, if that's all people are going to do, I guess there is a chance that can just become the meta, and then it would become like warbands where you need a clan to succeed.
But that's it. But I mean, if that's you say maybe it'll work out over time, but it won't, because by that time people just won't play the content, and
there's a point of no return, if you will.
Exactly. That's right.
They have it's like a cold case. They only have so long to kind of fix it before it's dead.
Yeah, if I was into this and that happened to me 5 or 6 times, it's like, that's it. I'm not going back there again.
Well, the GE says
do something else and forget it again.
Well, the GE says they were there for 4 days and it didn't happen that often. So it sounds like there's going to be a mix of good and bad matches, which is, I think, typical of the ELO system. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. How many times have I been wrecked in Overwatch because of the ELO system?
The other thing is, like, if you're waiting, that other person is waiting too, and is the other person actually gonna want to wait the whole battle, or will they eventually try to come a single way? I mean,
that's true. You could wait them out, I suppose. Then it just becomes who wants to waste more time. I don't really know how the system works enough to know if what I'm saying is accurate, because I have avoided this content pretty much altogether. Which is, I don't know if that's something I should be doing, but it's something I am doing. Anyway,
you have to play all content in the game every day, Mage.
I know.
Otherwise, you're not playing the game properly.
Well, I'm not. Well, then I can't be considered an elite skiller, right? If I'm not doing everything.
And then you have to post on the RuneScape Reddit as to how terrible it is that you have to do everything in the game every day, and it's ruining your enjoyment of the game.
All right, so where was I? So as a second suggestion, skull everybody or nobody. Can be annoying when someone refuses to skull, but you have to just engage them, and the fight becomes unfair in terms of risk. Assuming a fight with 2 identical players, same level, same gear, why should one get the advantage of risking less? At least one has to skull, so either make it all skull or no skull. I agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Both parties should be skulled.
You're in a bounty hunter world. You should both be automatically dropping everything.
Yeah. If that's the case, then that's
stupid.
Let me know if anyone who has been there, if that's true, because I think if you have a target, it should be predetermined that both of you lose your items on death, as it is a predetermined fight.
I think
no one engaged. It was just predetermined.
Even better, let's remove sculling and the dropping of items. But if we're not going to do that, then yes, everybody should be skulled.
Yeah. Putting aside that paradigm, I think we can all agree on that. The idea of removing all of drops is an interesting idea. It's a rabbit hole, certainly, that we don't have time to go down with 15 minutes remaining. But I'd love to go into that, and we did a little bit earlier in the show, but I'd love to document that out at some point in time. Maybe do that on an Elite show or something if we have the time to. Because I think you have an interesting idea there.
I feel like I should write a post about it just so that
I think you should too.
Actually see it.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to flesh it out into like a design document style post. Use images if you can. I'd love to help you with that if you want to make it a team effort. Because I would love to see that, because I don't necessarily even believe in the idea. I want to just see the idea so I can maybe have faith in it. I can't conceptualize it in its entirety, if you will, and I want to see it in a schematic form. Anyway, let's continue on here. We have so many more topics to go and only 15 minutes to do them in, so let's see if we can plow through as many of these as possible. I'm not going to pull a lightning round here or anything. Whatever doesn't make it will just be saved, and we'll do it on Sunday for the Elite Show. Anyway, remove or fix Bounty Hunter, please. So, says Kanata, the idiot. He only got a title from Deathmatch, so that's cool. He's definitely been putting his time in. People are standing there with alts getting 1.5 to 2 million per kill or farming weapons for bank. RRman getting free tier 87s with ease. And again, that is no longer the case. That's been patched out. Why even bother doing PVM now for gear when you get tier 87 in under 2 hours? Broken, fix it. And then it shows a recent wilderness kills list, and it's just a bunch of people for no money. They paid for the kill. Wolf G says gear was the reason I stopped playing it come the end. Very unbalanced. So the gear is a huge problem. Removing maybe Harley's method is actually the best method. Not worrying about that and moving to a gold system instead. I'm starting to like that idea more and more. He says, you cannot trade on a bounty hunter world is not a solution, Jagex. People use spirit shards in their inventory or hop worlds and trade there. You made it just a bit more tedious. And that's what I said. Like, making something illegal just forces it underground. You need to make it impossible to perform, embrace it, or you're screwed. Those are your choices. Either find a way to fix it, embrace it, or fuck it. Those are your three options. Anyway.
Well, I still think forcing something underground is okay. Like anything you make against the rules is going to have people who object to it, whether we're talking about a game or real life. Like, people break the law all the time, and people still bot in RuneScape, even though that's against the rules. Sure. So it's like you can't have 100% of the people listening to you. The only thing you can do is make it as hard as possible, and that way few people do it.
All right, so I get where you're coming from, obviously. So we force this trade underground, right? We make it a little more difficult. So we eliminate some people right off the bat, okay? There's going to be a group of people that are just going to say, well, this activity is now against the rules, and I have to deal in shady activities to do it. I'm not interested. I'm out. I'm not going to risk my account. So there's going to be those group of people, I like to call those the level-headed people, who are just going to say, forget it. Then you're going to have, and how many of those are you going to have? I don't know. How many people are level-headed people that will just not engage in it? Do you think that's like half the community? Is that less than that or more than that?
7 people.
7 people.
Well, if you literally made a rule against it and made it a bannable offense, like that
account sharing is,
change how
and people do that all the time. I mean, I know people who have extremely well-leveled accounts that are,
I still think account sharing is a hard thing, because I still think there's a ton of gray area in account
Exactly.
sharing.
It's a gray, it's all a gray area, though.
I would agree with you. I mean, if you use botting as an example, I would agree, because there's no gray area in botting, like that's still like 100% actually enforced.
Yeah.
But
that's the one thing that is literally cheating at the game. Like, there's no human involved. Whereas these boosting methods at least have humans involved, and I'm not supporting them. I'm just making an argument here. Go ahead.
The thing about it is you don't get to pick your target. It is completely random.
Yeah.
So if you randomly hit somebody and it's against the rules, and you say, "Hey, can I pay you for a kill?" Like, you're gonna run a pretty high risk of getting reported. So therefore, the risk versus reward goes just way down if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, you would move the conversation outside of the game, right?
But how would you get in contact with? You could only speak to certain. Like, sure, you and your friends could come.
Friends chats would get set up. Discords would get set up. TeamSpeaks would get set. They would set up communities outside, like offshore, if you will. It's the same as setting up an offshore account, right? You're putting yourself outside of the jurisdiction of the law, so you can continue, giving the people what they want. Let me just read Zenel's comment before you continue here, and then it's all yours. Zenel says, making weed illegal didn't get rid of weed. Making laws against it didn't get rid of it. Same goes for RuneScape.
But you could say that about literally anything. Making murder illegal doesn't get rid of murder. It doesn't mean it shouldn't be illegal.
Laws don't solve issues. Laws don't solve problems. Laws make it more difficult. Yeah, they are deterrents. Laws are just there to make things that we have deemed as a society to be reprehensible, difficult to do. And I think to a certain extent that is necessary at a societal level. But micromanaging everything the people do in your world can get messy. That's my main concern here. Like I completely agree that buying kills is completely against the spirit of the game. It transfers wealth where wealth doesn't need to be transferred. It's not playing the game. You are definitely breaking the spirit of the game. Yes, for sure. However, I still think it falls into a gray market area where Jagex needs to take a stance one way or another. They need to completely eradicate it, or they need to just embrace it. And I think embracing, I mean, they embraced it with dungeoneering, right? They won't touch auto chatters on World 77. They don't ban keyers. They do nothing. You can completely buy a skill that is combat based, with money in game. So this isn't a skill, it's a distraction and diversion, it's a mini game, if you will. Except this skill has a crazy amount of profit associated with it, and that's where the real problem comes in, doesn't it? Because nobody gives a shit about the World 77 keyers because there's no gold being injected into the game, right?
And it's not even gold. It's like the far reaching of it would crash T90 weapons would crash if we were allowed to boost Bounty Hunter infinitely.
Yeah.
Because if T87 weapons were injected into the same amount they were being injected Monday into Tuesday,
those weapons would become useless and they'd become the standard. Everyone would have to have them, and they probably would be cheap as hell, but it would ruin the price of everything else.
Yeah, and the second they're cheap as hell, no one's gonna buy a Noxious Scythe. I mean, maybe that's the one weapon that would hold value.
I mean, I don't know if you remember, but when T85 Crystal Wand came out, it crashed the shit out of the Virtus Wand, because now we had a crystal, a crystal weapon obtainable item that could then be attuned for no real effort except just collecting the dust. And yeah, I mean, you had a wand that was almost the equivalent of it was better. It was better than Virtus and good and comparable as far as you could if you couldn't afford seismics, it was still decent as well.
And I mean, you look at God Wars 2 and then the release of I think it was the wand from there too, right? I can't remember, but whatever, that crashed seismics into the ground and they still haven't recovered.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think seismics will ever recover to their former level just because of the amount that exists now.
Well, it wasn't even that. You can look at this when it was when God Wars 2. I mean, they were crashing slowly, sure, but God Wars 2 tanked seismics to something fierce, because basically the T85s from God Wars 2 are so similar to seismics. It's not like some of the other T90s where there's a big advantage to them that it just crashed the seismics.
Interesting. I was unaware of that. Then also, speaking of which, F all those keyers and leech French chats. They've been botting nonstop since 2010, and Jagex doesn't give a crap. I mean, I can't speak to them all botting, but that's an interesting fact. Do you run the risk of getting your account possibly reprimanded for being part of a leech team where the people who are leeching for you are running dungeoneering bot clients? Maybe you're not, but everyone else is. Or can you get in trouble by association? Go ahead.
I'm not sure. Was Zeno talking about the auto talking? I mean, that RuneScapers consider that botting. Being able to auto type.
I don't know. I mean, I like my scenario better, but it's possible. My scenario provides a more interesting debate.
But if we're talking about auto typing, that's another RuneScape rule that is
that's
currently
antiquated as shit.
It's not even. It's just like the whole account sharing thing is antiquated as shit, and it's there are a ton of there's just like no actual, much like with account sharing, like old school, you have an auto keyer built right into the freaking game, and it's like, and also we've talked about this before on the show, but like the game honestly needs macros, and one thing you can do with macros is create sentences that you can say over and over again. Like I wish we would get a macro system for EOC. People have no idea how much better this combat system would be if we had macros. Like,
I completely agree. And we've had some in-depth discussion about that on Elite shows in the past. You should check them out at patreon.com/RuneScape. Because and I would love to bring it. I'd love to like bring that up again when we have the time to do so. Because I think macroing is a tool that can be utilized in a completely legal sense that is just unfortunately been stigmatized, and it's annoying that that's the case.
It would so help with the overflow of action bars, because like if I could have a macro on my action bar that said, if this weapon isn't equip it. If it is, cast this ability. And then I press 1 to do that, and then 2 has my other weapon tied to it. It makes weapon switching a billion times easier. You don't have to have weapon switches either in your inventory or taking up multiple places on your action bar. It takes up one place for the same thing.
I'm trying to block another one mage, and it won't let me again.
What does it say? What does it say?
It comes up. It just says to me, I just lost it now. Invalid request.
There you go.
A lot of people are okay. So all my mods are having problems. Could you tweet, say something in chat so I can make sure you're modded? Zenel's definitely modded. I may have to.
Zenel couldn't remove it either.
I'm going to.
I wonder if YouTube changed the like mod privileges.
Yeah, it's possible that they mess with stuff, and I will check it after the show, which is actually pretty much about to end. We got about 5 minutes left here. If anyone wants to just talk in general chat, like literally, just I don't mean like in general chat, but just general discussion here. So it was once we hit 12. I don't want to start a new topic with only 5 minutes remaining here.
I see. So Chronicle's adding Steam Workshop.
Yeah, that's
I saw that image. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
That could really bring some life to Chronicle.
I mentioned this off air before we started, so.
You were having trouble remembering what exactly they added, and now you've got it, and that's freaking awesome. Yeah, I'm like super excited about that, just because of the fact that my brain just decided to die there. I'm sorry. I'm also looking at my moderator status here to figure out why things aren't working. What was I talking about? My brain completely died.
Chronicle Workshop.
Oh yeah, you can complete custom scenarios from third parties. That's awesome. Why don't we have this in RuneScape? Like, imagine Steam Workshop in RuneScape. That would be amazing.
That would be. I don't know how you would do that in an MMO. That seems kind of.
Well, it would be very restrictive as far as
add-on.
I'm saying use the Steam Workshop interface for add-ons, right? That's all you can create is like modules. You can't create like quests and stuff or like actual items, but you could create stuff like that.
Speaking of another rabbit hole that we could totally go down for like 5 hours, other than macros, freaking add-ons for the game. Oh my god, give me.
Right? Alright.
Oh, imagine if we played the mage card or something and the description is RuneScape Weekly, draw 10 cards or some crap. In Chronicle.
That would be cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to see that because I would totally do some custom work. Like I would totally make a RuneScape Weekly like card pack for Chronicle. That would be fun. God damn headset, please don't die on me. You're all mods, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
I know something that we can talk about. I just unlocked the Fallen Nihil set like 20 minutes ago. Like,
yeah?
Saved up all 10k and used it at once, and it is freaking beautiful.
It is nice,
right?
I
idea how awesome it was. Like it's actually animated. I didn't know it was animated.
Yeah, I'm like I think I'm about a little less than 1,000 away because I've missed a bunch of days, but I also dumped my remaining rune coins into it, so that kind of made up for what I missed. But so I'm pretty sure I'll have the outfit at reset pretty much once I get the next days or some of the next days. What happens if you get more than the needed? Can you turn them into XP?
Turn them into 250 for a small event box and 500 for a big event box.
Cool. So yeah, we're gonna save the rest of. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posts that we didn't get to today that I will get to on Monday. Magic Turtle says, to add a quick topic, I wish we could use the different color firelighters as pocket slot items. That would be cool. I love firelighters, but I never use them because, A, you never really have an opportunity to make a fire anymore. Like, fires in RuneScape used to be a common thing you would do. I mean, I find myself doing it as an RRman occasionally, but now it's just like, oh, I'll just use a bonfire or a range, or when do you ever get a chance to light an actual log these days? Go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like there should be some advantage to still doing that. I guess it doesn't make much. It actually doesn't make much sense to train fire making by lighting fire after fire. Now that I think about it, but I still kind of feel like it would be cool if there was actually some advantage to doing it that way.
Just remember the bonfire spirit comes out every time to time. You know.
They do. It's nice to get those little bonds. They're warm. You just rub them. It's fun.
It's a good way to get charms.
It is a good way to get charms. All right, well, we've successfully pretty much made it to the end here. Yeah, Elite, when you say Mage Rage at the Chronicle Challenge, are you referring to the campaign? Because if you want, I can do the rest of the campaign. I put a halt on it because we didn't get enough likes on our last one that I did. I was... Oh, did you disable chat? I shouldn't have disabled chat. You're chatting.
No, he hasn't disabled chat.
Are there any RuneScape armors that you earn in game that are actually animated? I can't think if there are any.
Any what in game that's animated?
In-game armors that are animated.
In-game armors that are animated.
Like the Sunfury
that are
outfits?
that are not Treasure Hunter.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you earn them in game instead of via.
I'm thinking
buying them.
I mean, now technically the Magic Golem outfit is animated, and you can get it in game. So is the Rune Ethereal outfit. They glow.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of a rip off considering they were technically treasure hunter items, but
exactly.
It's the easy answer.
Like, I love this Fallen Nihil outfit. I don't get why they haven't introduced I don't get why T90 armor doesn't have an animation to it, because it seems for being as freaking expensive and hard to get as it is, it should do something like some of the cosmetics do. But once again, I guess that's the overpoweredness of cosmetics.
Fire Cape, says Alex. That's
true.
Same for the Kiln Cape. That's animated. Yeah. Master Skill Capes are animated, if you consider the particle effects animation. But yeah. Anyway, we've made it right to 12 on the dot, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this show up. It's been fun, and of course we'll be back to do the Elite show later in the week. Hopefully we can schedule someone for Sunday. I don't know. Storm unfortunately was unable to come last Sunday, so we're gonna try again this Sunday, and possibly before then. We'll talk. Anyway. In the meantime, you can find us on social media. We have a Facebook page for you, facebook.com/RSWeekly. Got a Twitter for you as well, @RSWeekly. If you could, please take the time to rate us and review us on iTunes or whatever podcast aggregator you use to obtain the show. If you're watching this via YouTube, please like the video and leave comments if you can. If you're watching the live stream, please like the live stream as well. It does help us find new listeners. The more likes and comments we get, the more exposure we get to new listeners. So really do appreciate it when you leave comments and likes. Also lets us know we're doing an okay job here. Also, if you want to join us in game, we have a clan chat for you. Clan chat, kill, skill, and chill, or clan.runeweek.com. You can go there, check our ongoing clan competitions. This month is rune crafting in honor of the Rune Ethereal outfit becoming available in-game via regular skilling methods. There's currently 11 days to go in the skilling competition. Currently, IMVI is dominating with over 7 million experience. So if you're in the clan, you're going to get 10 million gold for winning. If you're not in the clan, but you can prove that you have beat someone who was in the clan, you'll win 5 million GP. So if you want to participate, you can do that whether you're in the clan or not. But feel free to join the clan or just guest in the clan. Clan chat, kill, skill, the letter, and chill. It's kill, skill, and chill. We also have a Discord for you as well that's always running and always up, always chatting in our Discord, of course. And our Discord is discord.runeweek.com. That's the easiest way to get in there. Again, discord.runeweek.com. Feel free to join us there. Continue the discussion at all hours of the day. It's good stuff. Also, if you like, you can help us out. We have a Patreon page, as we mentioned before, patreon.com/RuneScape. You can go there and support the show as little as $1 a month. Really does help us out. And of course, when the show is live, you can tip us at tip.runeweek.com. So that's a way to get recognized live on the show as well. If you want to do a one-time donation as well that's not live on the show, we have a PayPal for you as well. PayPal.me/RSW is where you can go to send us a one-time tip. Really do appreciate that as well, of course. We have a shop as well, shop.runeweek.com. You can go there, use your Magebucks that you can obtain via listening to RuneScape Weekly. Today's Magebucks code is... This is not me trying to find it at all. I even put it in the document today. Magebit, why are you a failure? Today's Magebucks code is RTCR. I forgot to put it in the show notes. I will fix that eventually. Okay. So, yep, use your Magebucks code, and you can get 500 Magebucks for listening to today's show, and you can use those Magebucks to get past seasons of RuneScape Weekly that may not be available anymore, as well as some Elite content as well that's only available either to Elite subscribers, or, of course, if you have accrued enough Magebucks, you can get some of the earlier seasons of that as well. And, of course, we have a wish list as well, wishlist.runeweek.com. Feeling festive, as the season got a hold of you, want to send us a present, you can go to wishlist.runeweek.com. Send us physical goodies in the mail. That's our Amazon wish list. Everything on that list is something we actually need to make the studio better. I'll be updating the wish list very soon, probably for next week, coming for Black Friday and the Christmas season, for people who want to support us by actually sending us gifts. So look out for that coming soon. I'll probably be tweeting about it. Anyway, big special thanks to our top Patreon supporters, including Molly RS, Swagatorix, Alex W, Danny H, Kevin H, Odin, Old Gunner, Hamster King, Sudwood, Godly Fury, One Magic Turtle. Thank you so much for supporting the show. It means the world to me to be able to produce the show on a regular basis, and we wouldn't be able to do so without our Patreon supporters. Not just our top supporters, but all of our Patreon supporters and all of our listeners. Thank you so much for listening to the show, because again, what are we without our listeners, obviously? So thank you so much. And of course, we'll be back on Sunday for an Elite edition of RuneScape Weekly, and back on Wednesday for the next edition of RuneScape Weekly. So until then, and as always, happy scaping.